Hey, drop.
Welcome to the Buchanan County Sports Podcast, Episode 3. The surroundings here is a little bit different this week. We had some scheduling conflicts with the Southern Gap Visitor Center, but we very much appreciate Greg and Amy for letting us use the room here at Bellacino's this week. And we've also pleased to have the fourth member of our team here this week, Derek Van Dyke.
Good to be here for sure.
Okay. All righty, guys. Had quite a bit going on last week in the county between golf and volleyball starting up and the football season starting Friday, cross-country event. So a quick rundown. I'll try to be as quick as possible through these. I may actually cut to you guys. You all do have the results handy as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So in golf on Monday, medalist for the day was Ethan Deal of Hurley with 42, and the team scores were Grundy 189, Hurley 196, Twin Valley 220, Council 239. For Grundy, Graham Pittman had 43, Mason Boyd 48, Brody Ford 48, Wade Clevenger 50, Gavin May 53, Parker Hughes 58. For Hurley, Ethan Deal, as I said, shot a 42, Braden Hopkins 48, Jackson Harden 53, Henry Deal 53, Jacob Cantrell 61, and Chloe Vance 65. Twin Valley had Ben Mayhew with 47, Blake Cooper 50, Logan Dotson 58, Brandon Mullins 65, Kenley Duty 70, Caden Street 70. For Council, Connor Ellswick 55, Jacob Ray 57, Caleb Mullins 58, Ben Stevens 59. And I'm actually going to skip a day here and go ahead and tell the results of Thursday. The Grundy golf team faced off against Riverview. Score on that one was 156 to 196 Grundy. Medalist for the day was Brody Ford with a 35.
Wow.
They also had a JV medalist. I think we mentioned him before, Gavin Hartford with a 43. And all the following were all personal bests. Graham Pittman at 38, Brady Markham 47, Carter Deal 50, and White James Street 52. Guys, real quick, we'll take a second there on the schedule and look at some of those. What are some of your thoughts on them? One of our old guests there, Graham Pittman, really looked really good last week as well.
When I seen that, I first saw it, I thought that's got to be an error. You know, he's not picked his game up that fast, and considering he just started this year.
Yeah, he said he'd only played like 3 or 4 times.
Me. Yeah, but he's got that mindset. You know, probably he's doing it just for fun. He's not worried about the stress of you miss a bad shot. He's just like, you can tell by talking to the kid, he's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah,
and you better have if you're gonna play golf. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But, you know,
too many people are always so serious, it seems like, in golf. I've never played myself.
Yeah, I've played with a few, ain't you, Derek?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a few.
But, you know, Mason, you know, he's put in the time and stuff, but it looks like Graham's going to be on his heels for the rest of the year. If he keeps this up, it's going to be neck to neck, you know, which is good.
I was looking at the team scores, Grundy 189 and Hurley 196. To me, that's going to be more something we better start looking at as we go forward, because the team scores are getting closer, and
They are.
And I'm glad to see Hurley bringing up some steps on them, and maybe we'll make them.
As I've said before, not very knowledgeable in the golf or whatever, but I did notice that a lot of these scores are very close: a 43, a 48, a 48, a 42, another 48. Twin Valley had one at 47. I mean, that's a lot of scores pretty close together there.
It's going to look good for next year when they all come to one as a Buchanan County Sports. You know, I think the golf team will grow, and I think they'll do a lot more as a team of one instead of competing against each other. That'll maybe let us step up and play against these Southwest District teams Richlands, Tazewell, and people like that in golf. So I think it's going to be great, and I think there's going to be different golf courses as we go to Southwest District.
Yeah,
Should be.
yeah,
You know,
for
so
sure.
it's going to be very interesting.
Be a little more
can't
challenging
wait.
for them than instead of playing Willowbrook every week.
I wonder why they don't play Tazewell Country
They
Club.
used to, didn't
Yeah,
they
yeah,
used to.
they used
I know,
to play.
I know Grundy tries to get out there and get a feel for different courses with the kids and everything. It'd be real good if we seen that county-wide and everything to give them a little bit of a different look, I'm assuming.
I agree totally. I mean, I'm so proud of the golf teams. They've stepped it up this year. Used to be, I would wish the ladies would take more incentive to play golf
Yeah,
because we have one lady in the whole county.
Yeah.
And if
And
you want,
she's doing well, too.
doing great. But if you want to get a good scholarship, golf is where it's at.
Oh, yeah.
Golf is easy to get a
If
scholarship.
you've got any colleges in the Southwest Virginia area or whatever, there's very few places. I mean, they're not going to go, 10 states away to recruit. They're going to try to recruit in this region.
Yeah.
And that's a very good opportunity for some of the girls and stuff.
I'm tickled death with the girls and boys. With the girl, let me change that because there's just one lady that's playing,
Yeah.
and she's doing an excellent job, and she's not timid by these other guys and other girls that they play against. So I like it. I like the scores. The scores on each team is getting better and better every week, and I like the competition, especially when they go through that BDD championship. And Hurley's coming. Hurley's coming after Grundy pretty strong. And it used to be Twin Valley was the team you had to watch.
Yeah.
They always had a good golf team. But now they're lacking a little bit. But as I look at their scores, they're getting better and better every week.
Yeah.
And
Guys, I know it's a little bit difficult a lot of times for some of us during the week to be able to make it over there and everything. But I would really like for at least one or several of us, if possible, to be able to try to make it to the district championship and get out and support these kids from all 4 schools, of course.
So they're playing tomorrow night, right?
Yeah,
On Labor Day?
No, actually, I believe it's on Tuesday. We'll get to the schedule here in a minute. But anything else to add on the golf, guys?
No, I mean, golf is, like I say, it's a sport that's not for everybody, obviously. But when you look at some of these scores, like I say, the Graham Pittman story is unique. Most wrestlers aren't going to just pick up a golf club. They're just not going to. Like I played Derek several years. We've played together for years. And I've always said the strongest part of Derek's game has always been the pencil. But, I asked Graham about that. He swore to me now that
He didn't cheat.
He didn't have a eraser on his pencil, but I've caught Derek with a few, just saying.
But it showed right now. I mean, Graham played. They got to play our
What was
week.
his score last week when you all had him in here compared to this week?
He's better than
I know
at least 4 strokes, hasn't he?
Well,
Way better.
the Thursday outing that I was talking about also this past Thursday, that was actually another personal best for him at a 38. So
Great.
I think 41, 42 is.
I
the
think
year
it
before.
was his one week.
So yeah, he's
Yeah,
bettered it.
So
Seems like about every week
getting
he's
better
done
every
better.
time he gets out there. And like I said, big congratulations to Brody Ford on Thursday there against Riverview, and also Ethan Deal at the Willowbrook Open on Monday. Moving on.
Now, didn't mean to interrupt you, but Ethan Deal is a freshman.
Yeah.
So their big things coming.
Most of the golfers in the county will be back.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's
Graham Pittman won't. Mason Boyd will, but Graham won't.
Mason.
I believe
Braden
Ben is a
Hopkins,
senior
Shirley.
this year. I believe Ben's a senior this year for Twin Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
So golf looks bright. So I'm excited to see what happens. Not only this year, but next year, as everybody goes into one school.
Yeah. So moving on, volleyball kind of got started up on Monday. Grundy had their first match against J.I. Burton, and I will say I actually sat and watched that with my wife at home Monday night, and not got a whole lot of experience in volleyball, and I have to say I was highly impressed that you literally don't stand still for a single second. These girls are always moving.
And they put themselves through a beating too, don't they?
The cardio must be unreal.
Yeah.
As far I was highly impressed. But Grundy ended up winning 3-0, 25-19, 25-22, and 25-23. And I'm going to give this a try. Actually, Coach Lester actually told me the pronunciation the other night. It's Destiny or Menderes. Is that right?
Sounds
Did I
good to
get
me.
it?
You butchered a little bit.
Close. Okay. Very awesome. Very awesome. Not only player as far as volleyball, but athlete. 17 service points, 3 aces, 11 digs, 9 assists, 2 kills. Leah Raznick, 6 service points, 2 assists, 9 digs, 7 kills.
Sophia Belcher.
Sophia Belcher, 4 service points, 1 ace, 8 kills, 4 blocks. What is it? Addison Bell,
Yeah.
6 service points, 12 digs, 10 assists, 2 kills, 1 block. Riley Church, another phenomenal athlete in our county as well. 5
Absolutely.
service points, 2 aces, 9 digs, 4 kills, 1 block. Clara Griffey, 4 service points, 21 digs.
Wow.
Wow.
Have you seen her? She's a little big girl.
Yeah.
But now she don't care to go after.
Yeah, we are actually also doing not to change course real quick here. We're doing a cheer spotlight every Tuesday. We'll have that up of a different cheerleader from each school. Got some questions to ask them and everything. They send in their response and also a picture, and we post it there. And that seemed to go over real well last week to give them a little shout out. But also, next up was Michaela Estep with 3 kills, 1 block. Did any of you guys get a chance to catch that game?
I watched the replay on some of it, not all of it.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of these, 8 kills. You look at 8 kills, and you got 7 kills, and then Riley with 4. And you look on down. I mean, that's a good game.
Yeah.
9's big. Service points. 17 service points for Destin. And I know where they had a little bit. So she's going to be. He's athletic. She's she's very
There's
athletic.
a younger sister as well on the
And,
JV.
and she's athletic.
Riley Church, she's athletic. Thank God she gets that from her mom. Everybody knows her
Absolutely.
dad.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Coach Church.
But yeah, they put together a good game. 25-19 was the first one, 25-22 the second set, and 25-23 the third. They were knocking right on the door each time, but there was always one competitive. Against J.I. Burton, that's pretty good. If you think about how they played as a team, it wasn't like in spurts. It was consistency with their serving and their digs. 21 digs. As you touched on our team, she's after it.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's coming, she's like a magnet to that ball. It's coming up off the floor.
Yeah, without a doubt. Moving on, Hurley apparently went out to the Montview area and they played in. I'm still to not really get a lot of info on that, but I believe it was like a small little tournament, 3 teams, maybe like a little round robin. Each team played or whatever. Anyway, they faced Montview and Greater Beckley. They unfortunately lost both games 2-0. The first one with Montview 25-12 and 25-18. And then against Greater Beckley, 25-20 and 25-21. No additional stats were available for either one of those. And then moving down that same night on Tuesday, Grundy had another game against Graham. Grundy won 3-1, 25-18, 17-25, 25-10, and 25-19. Another great game from Destiny again. 11 service points, 9 digs, 5 kills, 21 assists. Leah Raznick, 10 service points, 4 aces, 9 digs, 9 kills, and 1 block. Sophia Belcher, 7 service points, 13 kills, 4 blocks. Addison Bell, 11 service points, 6 digs, 9 assists, 2 kills. Riley Church, 5 service points, 4 aces, 9 digs, 11 kills, 2 blocks.
Wow.
Clara Griffey, 7 service points, 2 aces, 12 digs. Michaela Estep, 4 kills, 4 blocks. Guys, again, Grundy's volleyball team really showing out again.
Well, hats off to Hannah Stiltner. She had them all summer long doing something, and she just come off and having a baby. And I know how busy she is, trying to be a mother and trying to do sports too and teach. She's a teacher in our system here in Buchanan County. So hats off to Hannah Stiltner. If you don't have a good coach to lead them,
You can tell she's
can't
put the
lead
work in because, it looks like every girl on the team.
Yeah.
contributes every night.
They're all contributing. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, if those don't know a lot about volleyball, you got six players out there, and they're always moving. And then you switch them out. So the back, we're talking to Addie Boyd not long ago last week, and she's like, the back row sets it up for everybody, and the front row's got to spike it or whatever and get across the net. And it's just unreal how everything comes together with teamwork. Again, you got to have teamwork on volleyball, and it contributes to everybody.
Oh yeah, guys, y'all got anything else on that?
No, I don't. Like I say, they all. It's if you look, that's consistency. If you look both games back to back matches, they're consistently putting forth the effort. It's not like you have one good game and then each player that was played well the first match or the second match is doing the same thing consistently. So that tells you they're putting in the work. It's just not a fluke.
And like where Tim said that they had 6 out there. Is that what you said?
6.
Yeah.
And then you've got 7, 8, 9 players here that you're mentioning. It's going all the way through the rotation.
I look at the score as Chris mentioned there, 25, 25, 25. So they kept the 3 scores. Each match was 25 points that they put on the board. All 3 of them.
Well, you go back to the Hurley score. They played Greater Beckley. They played better the second game than they did the first. Which sometimes you get rid of those jitters. You do play better. So they sort of picked it up and got it within that that 20-point range. You can compete in volleyball. When my daughter played, that was something that Brian Davis always would try to stress to these kids. Is that you get beat when you're up around 11 and 12. If you can consistently keep you'll have a chance if you get it to 20.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. Watching it, I was stunned at how you could get down I was like, oh God, Grundy's gonna lose this set. They might be down 3 or 4, but then bam, 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 and they're within 1, and next thing you know, they got the lead back, and it's just amazing how if you keep it within 4 or 5, you're right in it at any given time. It's
anybody's game when it's like that. It's anybody's, and you got to have good servers. Man, that's where you can get you good points right there.
Yeah. So moving on to Wednesday there, cross country kicked off, something I know you know a lot about, and you was actually present for that.
No, I was out of town.
Oh, was you? Didn't get to make it? Grundy
had a lot of kids sick with the strep throat. My daughter was sick. Keystone Harper was sick. Ryder Anderson was sick, but he still ran. And Destiny, she ran. She was a little under the weather. But they come out of there through the pines at Lebanon great. They done a great job. Everybody pre-PR'd. Very impressed with them being sick. Hurley had some great runners there also. And they had some. And Twin Valley, I believe, had a couple runners there. Council had some runners. I know Rasnick, her hip was hurt.
She didn't run, did she?
She didn't run because her hip was hurting her. And we just talked to her last week about that.
Yeah.
How her hip was because she's had hip problems.
It sounds like something she's just going to be dealing with.
But, on the other side of that, she said she had learned, because before she would try to push through that to stay in shape. Yeah. And she sees now, I've got to be limited on, smart enough not to hurt myself more.
Before she would have probably ran.
No doubt.
But Tim, I'll go ahead and I'll catch my breath here, and I'll let you run through that if you don't care.
But all them kids done real good. It was through the pines at Lebanon Primary School there. Emily Lockhart, if you know Emily, she's from Hurley. She placed 53rd at a time of 32.28.
And if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, there was about 90.
There was 90 plus kids. Yes.
Close to 100 runners.
Yeah, so 53rd out of 100 kids, that's not bad at all, in my opinion.
Sure.
Also, Ethan Deal, we talked about Ethan just with golf. He ran on the middle school, I'm telling you wrong. He ran on the varsity, and he's 29th with a 20.35. DK Rife was 52nd with a 22.36. Council had Jacob Ray at 21st. Gage Brown at 27th, Jesse Ray at 64, and Ben Stevens at 84. Grundy had White Street. If you don't know White, you probably know his mother. She's the art teacher at Grundy High School, Miss Street. He's always been running good. He runs with the varsity team, Keystone Hartford, mostly all the time. He always run with Keystone. So White was placed 37th in that as his first varsity race at 21.14. Ryder Anderson placed 56 with a 22.54. That was a PR for him. And Destiny, she finished 7th in that course.
That's good, man.
And out of 100 kids, that's pretty daggone impressive. With a PR of 23:59, and her sister, she placed 9th in that.
6 seconds back.
Yeah, 6 seconds at a 24:05, and that was her first varsity ever cross meet.
She's a freshman.
Yeah, she's
Really?
a freshman. Ava Ward, of course, everybody knows Ava. She's Jeremy Ward's daughter. 25th, she placed 25th in that with a personal performance there with a PR 26:54. Ella Robertson, she was 29th with a 27:27 PR. I've watched Ella. I watched her come from when she first started running cross country. She struggled a little bit, but over the summer, I'd be running around and here in Grundy, and I'd see her running. So she's put the time in this year. So cahoots to her. Reagan Boyd was 5th with a 31:39. Savannah Childress was 65th with a 28:40. 38:40. I'm sorry. Allison Rattler was 68th with a 40:50 in her first race. So cahoots to all the coaches and players that did get to go and run. If you didn't go run, it was probably you sick. Because that
we had a little bit of that going on.
strip, and all that's going around. So very important. I love cross country, and I love football, and I love wrestling, and I love basketball. But in my opinion, cross country is the best sport, and I'll tell you why, guys. Everybody cheers on everybody.
Yeah, like you said, it's almost like there's not even a name on the front of your jersey. At least it's that way in Buchanan County. We'll say it that way.
Well, it's not like that outside Buchanan County. I mean, if you see somebody in Lebanon running behind, everybody gets going, starts cheering them on.
Yep.
I mean, it's a great atmosphere to be around. I love it. My daughter likes running it, and I got attached to it. And when I first seen it, I said, guys, this is where it's at right here. It's not an individual. It's a team effort. Everybody cheers on everybody. And that's hard to swallow sometimes, because you look on the front of that jersey, you don't like it, didn't like it at school from years ago. You don't want to cheer, but you're going to have to because everybody else does it. So it's very important. And like I said, I want to thank all the coaches from all the Buchanan County schools for what they do for their kids in that.
Yep, for sure. And that was on Wednesday. There was also a volleyball game that night. Twin Valley took on Honaker. They got beat 3-0. Scores of 14-25, 10-25, and 14-25. Keisha McClanahan, 8 digs, 2 kills. Kara Boyd, 2 kills. Addie Blankenship, 2 digs, 3 kills. Kaylee Mullins, 1 dig. Malayla Bale, 5 digs, 1 assist, 2 kills. Kaylee Sparks, 1 kill. Addie Boyd, 4 digs, 5 kills, 2 aces. Aaliyah McClanahan, 1 dig. Maya Bell, 1 dig, 4 assists, 1 kill, 2 aces. Addie
playing good again.
Yeah, played good again. One of our former guests on the show, Player of the Week. Well, y'all got any comments on that?
I'm just glad to see these girls playing good. I mean, Derek probably knows about every one of these girls. I know some of them, but not all of them.
I know a few of them, but I mean, I'm getting up there too, Tim. But now I do remember Addie coming through the league and stuff. But then I watched her when you had her on the show here and everything.
Yeah.
She's had a good season so far.
If you look at this score, that's what I was saying. In that 14 range,
That's right.
That's tough. But now let's understand something. Homemaker's a little bit. They're head and shoulders above a lot of teams in this area. They've got a real good program. They've had a good program for quite a while, and they've got the kids. So when you see them, it looks like a struggling 14-25, but honestly, 14 against Honaker, I've seen teams go against Honaker. Yeah, you have goose eggs.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I can guarantee
you can take good and bad from that.
I can guarantee you they was out there giving their best. As we know, Coach Fuller would expect of them.
Yes.
Kudos to her for being on the podcast last week with us. We really enjoyed having her here. Thursday, Twin Springs and Council. Council would lose that one 3-0. Scores of 25-13, 25-14, 25-13. Unfortunately, no additional stats were available on that one. And then we've already discussed the Grundy Riverview matchup in golf on Thursday. So, guys, I guess that'll move on to Friday. We were literally all over the area. Myself and Tim was at the Grundy game. Dirk was in Castlewood with Twin Valley, and Chris was at the Hurley game
Trip to Bland.
in Bland. So I guess we'll start with you at the end of the table there, Chris.
Long trip to Bland.
Long trip to Bland.
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad
trip
coming
back,
back.
wasn't it?
It's a good trip coming back. Yeah, it's always better when you see your home team win. We actually went to the wrong school to start with because we went to the high. It's been years. It's been like 25 years since I've been over to that place. So it's been a while, but very nice field. I don't know if y'all been to Bland High School or to the field. It's a very clean, nice field. But they real hospital. They were good to us. Sometimes you go to these away teams and they're jerks. Let's be honest, but
absolutely.
they were really good. To even the
well, they're used to people in this area. We go up there and hunt all the time.
we steal the deer from them.
We help control the deer population for them.
But started the ball game right at the get go when they were warming up. Hurley just looked like a different team out there warming up.
Than what we've seen.
At Jamboree and stuff. I thought they looked different. And me and Pistol were talking about it. And Pistol's like, he breaks this stuff down. He's pretty smart. People don't give him a lot of credit, but he is pretty smart when it comes to this stuff. He knows a lot of.
I see that head getting bigger.
Yeah. No, he studies this stuff really. He can tell you who won last year, what the yardage was, who was coming back.
Yeah.
So he's sort of saying, this is what you need to look for, and sure enough, you get out there and you start watching the first part of the ball game, and it was a dogfight for about a quarter and a half. Back and forth, and you could tell they was trying to feel each other out, but they had some good players step up. I was really impressed with Chase Baker on the defensive end. He had double-digit, tackles, solo tackles. Dylan Lester, double-digit solo tackles. I don't know. I'm not sure how many assists they had together, but they had to be close, I'd say, to double digits in assists, too. But just a collective effort was, Bland, had struggled throughout the last few seasons, and I think maybe too Hurley came in with a little bit of maybe overlook of them because of their history, and they sort of got knocked back just a little bit, and then they calmed down. And Zach,
I know from seeing the interview, I guess things started off a little sluggish, as
it did,
Coach Deal had said.
Zach got them calmed down. Nick Gibson did a good job with his defense. Nick, he knows defense, and he got some of those guys over and
brought up under Coach Davis.
I ain't gonna say what he said, but now he brought them. He picked them up off their feet, so to speak, with a few choice words. But he got them fired up there. And they went back out, started hitting good. Setting even on the offensive end, the same kids that was on defense would go offense, and they would set good blocks. Had a little fire under them. It was at one time it's 14-0, and Bland had a chance to score. Fumbled the ball. Hurley gets it back. Give it back to him, and then we give it back, and then next thing you know, Hurley gets a pick six by a freshman. It's amazing that both Twin Valley and Hurley both had a freshman that's never played before, both score a touchdown. And that to me that really is what I said about these freshmen that's going to be moving into the new school if they choose to play. They both got experience now in that position. But then when Hurley scores there, it starts. To me, that was the turning point.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say Bland just quit. I'm not gonna say that, but I think at that point Hurley had got their momentum, had their confidence, and the coaches knew what they were going to do. I thought Caden, he played good, throwing the ball. I'm not sure what his yardage was, but he missed a couple of players. He didn't. He put it right on the numbers, and I'd never seen him really step back in the pocket and throw like that. I was impressed with him. But he's about like 6'4". He's one of the biggest kids on the field. I don't care who's playing.
Yeah.
As a quarterback, he looks like Ben Roethlisberger out there. He really does. You see him walking down the field, that's who he reminds you of. Just that size.
Not that slim.
No, not the size. Frame. I'm talking about the
overall size of him.
Yeah,
he's not your typical slim quarterback that if he takes a good hit, he's going to get killed.
No, he can. It would be hard for one person to bring him down if he's running. He's a good sized young. He's athletic. He can throw the ball. And I'm not saying chunking it. When you talk about kids that can step back in the pocket and throw it, I was impressed because I wasn't looking for him to. I was kind of thinking when just his body size, he's going to be one of those that has to sling the ball instead of throw the ball.
Yeah.
Wasn't like it. He was just like 30 yards on the dime, 40 yards on the dime. And he did it a couple times, missed a couple kids like that.
Defense came through there at one point because I know you sent me scores, and it was still, that like they could, make a run still. Yeah,
right.
It wasn't out of hand, but then it was. I think there was a fumble there, and then the scoring just seems like a lot of.
Well, there was actually several fumbles that Hurley didn't get credit for. That they kept saying the kid was down, and from my vantage point, it looked like he was still up, but from a fan,
but it seems like at one point there, it really turned, and it was all downhill
after Hurley got the running game going.
I'm guessing they just kind of got down on themselves. Blaine did, and Hurley just took huge advantage of that.
Well, after that third score, which was that pick six. After that, like I say, things sort of turned around, but
you could probably
the defense really picked up to the point to where that. They were at one time that you could tell that Nick was like, we got the lead, we're going to send them.
Yeah. The problem is a lot of times players, I think, get comfortable with that. We've got a 3-score lead, we can just coast on in, even though there maybe be a quarter, 2 quarters of play left. And it's good that they kind of had that mentality. We're going to finish it off.
Oh yeah. Dylan had a heck of a game on both sides. Dylan Lester, he had 142 yards rushing on just 13 carries, 2 touchdowns. 1 reception for 33 yards, and then 12 solo tackles, as I said. Chase Baker played
4 assisted tackles as well.
Yeah, 4 assisted tackles. Yeah. Aiden Baker, and this kid is like so humble. He's athletic, but he gives you everything he's got every single play, and he only touched the ball 8 carries for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yeah. And
carry right there.
And you don't hear him. If he comes off the field, you don't never hear him complain. You hear some kids, but you don't never hear him complain. He's just right back up the next play. That's the kind of kid you can't say enough good things about,
I see that they must have been getting quite a bit of yards per carry here, because you got Aiden Baker, 8 carries at 82 yards. You've got Caden Justice, 6 attempts, 71 yards. That's pushing a lot of yards per carry.
But that's all these carries started picking up after the second quarter. Really the third quarter, they kind of got things rolling really good. But Hurley had a lot of mistakes too. I mean, they was a lot of stuff they went to clean up. They had a muff punt they had there that Bland recovered. In great field position. They couldn't capitalize on.
Just didn't take advantage of it.
They didn't take advantage of it. Bland had several opportunities that they could have drove the ball and scored, but like I say, it was just one of those nights when Hurley got it going. It was just nothing Bland really could do. And I looked at, and I got to give a shout out to the Hurley fans. I sent you that video.
Yeah.
I'm saying, honestly, that was one of the biggest crowds that I can remember from that far away. I mean, there was well over 100 people there from Hurley, if not more.
Good.
And I ran into some my old classmates that lived up in that area, up around, Whiffle area, and just a little further out. Some of them drove, another 45 minutes to get to there and to watch it. And this is. Had one guy, he's like, I figured I'd come and watch him. This may be the last time I get to watch a Hurley team play.
That's pretty neat. I wondered how much of that you was going to see this year out of people that may not be in the area, or they may be nearby, but don't really frequent games, but they know that this is it, and they want to come out and cheer for their school one more time.
Yeah, you'd love to see them travel. It's always
Early's always been great about travel.
When you're winning, everybody wants to watch.
Yeah.
And this is the first game of the season, and nobody 0-0. Nobody knew how it was going to end up, and we stopped to eat there after the ball game was over, and got one of the guys behind the counter says, what was the score? I said, well, it was tied at kickoff, and after that, it went south. And that's the way it is with anybody's season. Everybody at the beginning of the season, especially right now. I mean, we got teams that's not going to be here next year. Let's get out and support.
Oh yeah. Well, guys, I guess we'll move on to. We'll go ahead and do the Grundy game now. Tim, you had a
mercy.
You had a front row seat for that one.
I was right on the sidelines. I helped with Grundy and been helping them for the past 4 years, and it always shows a little special to me. I mean, I'm a Grundy guy. I bleed blue and gold, but I still like Twin Valley and Hurley and Council also. So on the other side of that, I was on the sidelines and I knew when we was out there warming up, everybody was nervous, just like Chris said there. You can tell when they got jitters. And I knew when we was warming up and they had some jitters in them, because sometimes some of them, this is the first time they've been on a field starting for a varsity game, because our low numbers this year. So they was nervous, and then we made some major mistakes that Ridgeview Wolfpacks had capitalized on. We had a center centered over his head, probably about 10 yards deep, and then we fumbled and we made a lot of mistakes. We tried an onside kick, and they didn't kick it but about 2 yards. And nobody picked the ball up to give it to the referee, and they just picked it up and run in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Just little mistakes like that. It's not little; it's huge mistakes.
Yeah.
That's huge mistakes. That's something.
But it's mistakes.
And I know there was the one.
Yeah.
There was the one that landed on like the 1 yard line, and I don't know what the kid was thinking, but he just kind of looked at it, and then everybody was yelling, "Pick it up, and run!" And he finally ran with it. But it's just, I guess, the mental mistake in the moment,
They have a great kicker. Ridgeview does. He can kick that ball, and he's got a gauge where it hits on it.
Isn't that the one that got a scholarship offer? You remember you had sent it to me a while back?
It may have been the same one. What was his name?
If I told you, I'd lie to you.
I seen Michael so much, I don't know. I lose track of it. I don't know which one it was.
But he is so good. He can kick that ball, and he it'll hit. He can have it where it's coming back.
Yeah, he got
hit
that
on
backspin on it where it'll hit like at the one, and then
yes, he done
it
excellent.
won't go on in the end zone.
The crowd we had was a good crowd from Grundy. They did go. I was pleased with that. Trey Taylor scored 3 touchdowns for Grundy, and he finished with 175 yards. He rushed for 2 of them, and while catching 2 passes for 76 yards. So and a score. And I'm gonna tell you, if anybody knows Trey Taylor, he's a fighter. He'll fight because I've seen him go in there just over there at Review. He went into the hole and it closed up, and he spun to the outside and he ran for a touchdown.
Yeah, I've seen that several times. Like he's got a good spin move going in there.
Not taking anything of Ridgeview. Ridgeview is tough this year.
Signed for Arkansas.
He signed with Arkansas. Kicker already has.
I knew he had signed with a D1 school.
Oh, you looked it up too?
Yeah.
They are tough. Ridgeview is tough. Connor Smith is the guy's name. Connor Smith.
Connor Smith. That's his name.
Yeah. So what we take from Friday night is we had one guy get hurt and hurt his knee, and I think he'll probably be back this week. But if he is, it's fine. If he ain't, it's fine, because we don't need to risk taking hurt him any worse, because we need to save him a little bit. But what I take from Friday night is we got a lot of cleaning up to do. Special teams going to have to clean up good. We look terrible on special teams. Our special teams look terrible, and nothing negative against anybody. It's just we don't work on special teams like we should. Before, when I played football, of course, that's been years ago, like Chris says, back in the dinosaur days,
Old leather helmets.
Yeah, old leather helmets. That's,
I bet you're amazed at what they got here.
Yeah. So, when I played, or when everybody here played football, special teams would go on field first before anything else. Would you go on there before practice, and that's all thing you done, 15, 20 minutes of special teams. So that's what Grundy has to go back to. We got to go back to simple ball and just slow everything down.
Being a Virginia Tech fan sounds like a little beamer ball there.
That's right. We just got to slow everything. My buddy Rodney Davis, he's here with us today, but he and I talked, and he that's the first thing he said. He said, slow everything down. Slow everything down. And that's exactly what we got to do. We got to slow it down. To beat a good team in basketball, what do? You slow the ball down to a crawl.
Yeah.
Make the fans be bored. So that's what we got to do on football. But other than that, man, Aiden White, a quarterback, stepped in. We had an ace quarterback last year, Logan Lester. It's hard to fill that role, but we filled it. Aiden White is going to be the quarterback. Gavin Mates had some good runs. He done really good. RJ done a real good job. That's our fullback. He done a real good job. Our linemen they're slacking a little bit, but they're going to work together because it's coming. I can see them working together. Quake has taken the lineman underneath his wing. Our center, Blake Childers, he's worked hard this summer in the weight room, and he knew he messed up on that one play. But guys, we all mess up.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We all mess up. I mess up daily doing something, and I'm a grown man.
You know, you was talking about Aiden there. I see that the passing here, because we actually have complete stats on the Grundy game here. I don't know if you have that there with you or what.
I do.
So the completions, 6 for 9, no pick. And then you look at Ridgeview, 6 for 6, so not a whole lot of passing either way, but through 9 attempts.
Shoot, if you had
I did stats back in high school, so I know 6'9", 66.7% there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
So Ridgeview's got a little running back, number 35, I think is his number. Might be 25.
Yeah, 25.
Man, he is quick as lightning. And if you didn't hit him hard and wrap him, you wasn't going to bring him down. Just like Chris said about Canaan. He's a big boy, and you got to knock the crap out of him to get him down.
I
else.
was amazed by 25 how well he did. I actually, I know the father of the kid, number 5, Jalen Deal.
Yeah.
And 25 was real great that night. And I was like, well, heck, I didn't even know nothing about him. I thought Deal was their primary back and everything.
Yeah.
But both of them did good.
That 5 did excellent too.
Deal had 2 touchdowns as well for Ridgeview.
Yes.
So
they've done well. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but now they're going to do good this season. But
on a side note, though, being over there and everything, absolutely beautiful facility.
I love that. I love the Ridgeview campus. The only part I hate about Ridgeview is in the summertime it's hot, and in the wintertime it's cold.
I've been there in the spring for track and field events, and it's.
They've got
I've been there for a
nice.
soccer game too.
Right before kickoff, though, that sun's going down.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I love the campus.
Yeah,
I think
I was
they're
at concession getting. My wife went with me, and I was getting some drinks and stuff. And I was over, and I said, I told the lady that was checking me out. I said, y'all have a beautiful campus here and everything. And she said, she seen my shirt and everything, and she said, well, you all gonna get it next year. Said y'all got a great one coming too.
Yeah, they're always nice to us. We go to a lot of Wade facilities, and the hospitality of people now is great.
By the way, did you happen to notice something I don't think I've ever seen at a home game in this area? There was some tailgating going on.
They was. I love it because they set up chairs. They had folding chairs around the fence, all the way around.
Yeah.
I love that atmosphere.
Yeah. They were doing that at Bland. There was a little park out before you get to where the field is.
Yeah.
And there was a slew of people out there barbecuing and stuff. And we left, they were still going on strong.
I love that. That's supporting your
Absolutely.
kids.
Yeah, that's
Yes. That's something we need to do.
Make it like a college atmosphere,
Yeah.
So then, Dirk,
Here's the biggie.
yeah, the Twin Valley game there. Wow.
Bring Tommy in, or you
First of all, I look back at the records and stuff, all the scores, and 7 matchups. And actually, your dad coached the first 4.
Yes, sir.
And all losses.
Yes.
I'm assuming you probably remember some of them quite well.
Yes, sir.
And they went there, and it looks to me like had a great showing on defense.
Man, it was
A lot of stops. I remember a couple times you sent me messages where they were down inside the 10 and shut them down.
yeah, Castlewood. They moved the ball 3 or 4 different times. Got inside the 20, inside the 15, and you think, oh man, here it is. It's going to be that break, and then Twin Valley come up with a big stop. But then kudos on the other side. Castlewood had a great defense. Really good defense. Big line, huge line. But they did the same thing with Twin Valley as far as we didn't drive as deep. We drove one time right before boy picked the ball up and ran it in on the fumble. We drove down and got stopped on the 14-yard line, I think.
That red zone stops was happening with both teams
absolutely, and
throughout the night.
Both defenses flying the ball. Both offenses has a lot of work to do. But it's first game of the season, so it's. And
then of course, what was it? With about 6 minutes to go, I guess, or
about 7.5.
About 7.5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Castlewood would fumble the ball.
Yeah.
And Twin Valley's Harvey Duty, who actually we named our player of the week this week. ran the what would be game-winning score in for 41 yards.
Scoop
and score, yeah.
Freshman, Harvey.
Freshman. Yeah.
Freshman.
Never played football until this year. Never played football until
I
this year.
know it was quoted in the Bristol paper that Coach Crigger had said that this kid, like, he's constantly asking questions.
Yeah.
Like,
He's bought in.
all the time. Just
I call that bought in.
To the extent that, it's just like over,
Yeah.
just so many questions and stuff. And, I believe I'd rather them ask questions in practice than at the
Absolutely.
game.
Now, what was at the
That's right.
Bristol? What was the score? They thought it was going to be 30.
They had
36.
Castlewood was 35. It's like 35-6.
35-6. Yeah.
Like
Well, they
that.
got the 6 part right.
I was happy
But-
with Twin Valley because and Hurley because they need that.
Absolutely.
They need that. Twin Valley need it. Hurley need it right off the bat. Let's get us a score. Let's get us a win. So that gives them next week.
Which I know you guys saw the video that I'd sent Michael, but if you could have stood there in the stands and watched grown men, I mean, me too,
Crying.
Tommy, Marcus, Matthew Baldwin, these guys were happy. I mean, they were excited, and they were excited because those kids were good. They were happy,
Yeah.
And last year, when it was 0-0 in the third quarter, those kids, not the same kids, but those kids, their head would start to drop.
Yeah.
And their head never dropped this year.
Yeah.
He's got them where they're not dropping. And I even heard him tell them. He said, "You guys could have quit," and you did.
What do you see with this team right here? I mean, you've talked about it. But what have you seen with this team that you've not seen maybe in previous couple of years?
They've got grit. They've got want. They've
they've
got
got it.
heart. They do. I mean, they're not the big. I mean, they've got some good sized youngins, but they're not the biggest team in the world. But they go out there, and I promise you, you're going to get their best.
Yeah, they're going to
It
come
might
back.
not-
I say,
absolutely.
what I see
Grit
from
is
these
something that
jamborees,
all
man,
three
they're going to bring it.
really
What
need
they
this
got,
year.
they're going to bring everything they got.
And I remember, and another thing, what Chris was talking about with the Hurley game, when me and my dad was walking in, I looked at Dad and I said, "Man, do you see this?" He said, "What? We're 45 minutes from game time, and Twin Valley's got double the fans that Castlewood does if they're home."
Yeah.
And it was just, you don't see, we haven't seen that in a long time,
Yeah.
So it just,
Yeah.
All righty, guys. I guess that's it for that. We're gonna move on to our interview segment here.
I like to
Oh.
mention the games that's coming up this week, if you don't care. And I know when we do interview Tommy, or when Derek does it, he'll remind everybody about the schedule change. It'll be September the 4th. Twin Valley will be versus Montcalm at 6:00 p.m. So because of lights, they've got lights now, but they just want to make sure that they have enough daylight so nobody can say anything. So Twin Valley at Montcalm, or Montcalm's at Twin Valley. Remember at 6:00 on Thursday, not Friday. Then we have Friday. Grundy is facing Rye Cove, and it'll be 7:30 kickoff
At Grundy.
and then we'll have Hurley versus East Side,
And that's also at Hurley.
and that's at Hurley.
So all 3 games this week are all home.
All home.
Need to get out and support these kids.
One other thing, September 3rd, cross country, Enix Branch, and that's all Buchanan County schools.
Yeah.
That will be there. So
Okay.
they usually start about 4:30.
All righty, guys. I guess we'll move on to the interview segment. All right, we're pleased to be joined here by Twin Valley coaches Tommy Crigger and Marcus Stiltner. Guys, big win there Friday night.
Yeah, it was a great win, great team win all around. It was good feeling. When you're not supposed to win and you win, it makes it a lot better.
Oh yeah, definitely. The Bristol paper didn't think so
Yeah,
either.
they did, and I made sure I told him after the
Yeah.
game. As the first message I sent out.
Was it 35-6?
12.
Oh, 12.
Yeah.
Man.
He even got the 12.
Yeah, even got your all part right. All righty, Derek.
Yeah. I've just got a few questions for you, Tommy. First off, congratulations on the win, starting out 1-0. Last year at this time, like when in the third quarter there, still 0-0, your guys, I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them had a tendency to drop their head. This year they didn't quit, did they?
No, they didn't. And we talked about it earlier in the season. We've got a different group of kids we've had in a while. I mean, our freshmen, sophomores, everything. They come every day ready to practice. We have some injuries. we have 22 players, I think, or 24 now. We have 2 that came out that can't play yet due to practices, but we've had 18 to 22 every day at practice. And I think in that third quarter, when everybody's seen them driving on us, and even in my head, and we was like, oh man, here we go. We need something to happen, and they're just whipping us. We're down, and then all of a sudden, 4th and inches again, and we stop them. I think that was the 5th time we stopped them on 4th and inches. Not a yard. I'm talking just fall forward for a first down, and we stopped them. I'm thinking 4 or 5 times, and that's huge for us.
No doubt. I guess this go for either one of you here. 0-0 halftime score. Do you make any halftime adjustments, or do you just wait to see if you can catch that break, or do you?
Offensively, we was trying to make all kinds. I mean, we were asking questions, and we were just trying to get somebody open. I mean, which there a couple of times we did get some people open, but we were trying every which way to try to move the ball and get going. But defensively,
we look at it in the standpoint if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
It was 0-0. The game started over after the second half. I'm no big schemer by any means. I work on details and fundamentals. That's all we worked on all week was details and fundamentals. We didn't really even line up defense for about 10 minutes just to go over their offensive formations and what to expect. But when we go defensive groups, we do all that individually. Go over everything that we think the other team is going to do to us individual. We do that for all practice. And we did that all week. And so when we got to halftime, we was like, hey, 0-0. The game starts over. The conditioning is going to come into effect the second half.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And who's going to make the big play? Who's going to create the turnover the second half? Because that's what the game's going to come down to. Because we just couldn't do anything offensively.
Because I say without a doubt, as it got up into the fourth quarter with how that defense was playing all night, I'm sure they was killed.
And we play, every kid basically plays both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And you had a couple of your key players cramping up bad, didn't you?
And,
you get into a lot of them 4th and short and stuff like that. It's going to wear a defense down, and kudos to them for really staying with it there.
Who was it knocked the ball loose?
Lucas Looney.
You give him credit too,
I did. I gave to Lucas Looney made the fumble. Harvey caught it, got loose. Ethan Smith made the block.
You couldn't really tell on the broadcast what happened. You just seen him come out of there with
made the block that.
If he don't make that block, then we're sitting here trying. I'm thinking.
And then Smith also comes up. What is it? The very next play with the interception.
Yes. Next series interception. And it just all came together. Like you said, normally we hang our heads and this and that, but man, they dug down. It was tough. I mean, like Coach Stiltner said all week, you got to play violent. I mean, football's a violent sport. Go play hard.
Violence doesn't mean that you have to be a bad kid.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to play dirty or anything. You just have to play good.
You don't play dirty. We don't ever teach that. You have to play violent and aggressive. And, you can't turn on. I always said this since I've been coaching. I said, you can't turn on a little switch come, Friday evening and be like, hey, I want to pick my game up a little harder than what it was on Wednesday. You have to keep that intensity from day one till Friday.
keep that mindset.
Yeah.
And like you said a minute ago, we had some people cramping this and that. We haven't had people cramping in a couple of years. I mean, they were playing hard.
So
I mean,
that shows.
I feel like,
no doubt.
I mean,
It shows they gave you everything they had.
they gave everything. That I told them after the game that when they wake up, that they're going to be so sore that you won't want to get out of bed, but winning the ball game will help you get out of bed.
No, my son's not done anything in 2 days.
He's sore.
He's laid on the couch or the bed.
He played hard too. I think.
He did.
He sure did.
It was just
Well,
great. I mean, you all been around, watch sports. I mean, anytime, especially when you haven't beat somebody in school history. So that's one good thing at the end of an era here at Twin Valley. We checked one off that we've
I
never
know
done.
we was talking. I looked up the records and everything 7 times that they had faced, and 4 of those actually Coach Van Dyke was
with Dad.
coaching. Yeah, his dad.
Yeah.
So
You know,
Yeah,
I
I'm glad you
won
put that
games
W
by-
up.
2 of them is when I played against my cousin David while he was there.
David. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it's a huge shame you didn't get that one.
I know it.
So I've been on teams where you win by 60. I've been on teams where you lose by 60. Yeah. Those are not fun either way. You know? No. But if you take a game that's gridlocked into the fourth quarter, third quarter, those are exciting.
Hey, it was fun that
That's
night.
where
It was really
every
fun.
play matters. Every yard matters. We talked about on the way home on the bus about special teams.
Oh yeah.
Coach Wright does their special teams. He's the only one who does them. He does their special teams before we even get to the field. He does that for about an hour. Because school lets out at 2:30.
And that's what I told him on the way home, and I finally had to pat him on the back, and he about had another heart attack. but if you go back and look, like he said, sometimes we don't want to punt because, well, they're going to block it. It's going to be a bad snap. Our punt team put us in position to win that ball game.
I was getting ready to say, is that the main kid?
Yes.
The punts?
Isaac punted, and Colton Stiltner was the snapper. And guys, that put us field position all night, and our defense stepped it up. And Coach Wright, like he said, he does it. I drive a bus, so I don't get there at about 3:30. And, school's out, time to get down there for an hour. He's doing special teams. I didn't know what was going on when we go to special teams. He said, all right, kickoff team. I don't even know who's on it. But Mike's done it for how long? He's done it for years, which he's my number two. He's a good one. He fixed our stuff, and if we didn't have him, man, it'd be tough.
Jim?
Now I've got some questions.
Oh, my
and it's first of all,
Feel like you're in a courtroom now.
Tim,
everybody knows Gabby over here, Tommy Crigger, head coach of Twin Valley, but Marcus Stiltner is the defensive coach, right?
Yes, sir.
And he don't get the credit that Tommy don't ever give him.
I give him credit.
So we want to make sure Marcus is
he jumped in our arms twice.
Well, I thought you were going to bump bellies and fall backwards.
Yeah.
But in the heat of the moment, it was great.
Yeah, they said earlier they couldn't even get their arms around it.
Yeah, I wish y'all quit sharing that because we go up our hug. We just tap at each other.
But I've known both of these guys for a long time, so either one of you can answer these. What mindset helped the team to stay calm and focus in the final minutes of the game? I know you scored, and everybody went crazy. All right, then you got to get out there and try you 2-point conversion. Okay, now you got to get out there and kickoff time. You line your people up and they're getting ready to kick off. What goes in your mind? How you stay calm? How do you coach that? You have been a defensive guy. You get ready to come on the field. Your defense getting ready to come on the field, hoping, praying that your kicker will kick it down there, so they have to make a good move. So how many minutes did it happen when you scored? What was the clock? How many minutes on the clock?
7:51. 7:51, I think.
7
minutes.
7.5.
Okay, 7 something. All right. Now you're seeing your kickoff team out there. Coach Wright sending his kickoff team out there. He's kicked the ball. Your defense going out there. You got them huddled up. What are you telling?
Do your job. Everybody has a job to do every single play and take care of the little things, the small details. Everybody wants to worry about the big things, which is the W. I got more points on the scoreboard at the end of the game. But they don't understand that the little stuff is what adds up to the big stuff. Do your job, do what your responsibility is every play to the best of your ability. And just take care of the guy in front of you, and the big stuff will take care of itself. That's what I focused on, all year was little stuff, detail oriented.
All right, you got your defense out there. You see the offense come out. You got your headset on. They're talking to you from upstairs.
We don't have headsets.
Okay, you don't have headsets, so you're fortunate.
We ain't Grundy. We don't have the money, babe.
We got to cut that. So you got your defense out there, and you see the offense line up, and you need to make an adjustment.
We did have to make an adjustment on trips. We were trying to do that in man in the first half, which worked out for us, but we got lucky a couple of times too with some drop balls. But second half, we did decide to do cover 3 on that. And but one thing that we were doing, especially in man defense with the trips, we were worried about the back coming out of the backfield. We had nobody over there for it, So we decided to cheat the defensive end out because if they're trying to run a bubble screen or something at you, the defensive end is never going to get to the quarterback anyway. So let's go ahead and cheat him out. So if they do swing that guy out or they roll that guy out because he didn't have a strong arm, he couldn't sit back there in the pocket and dump it 40 yards. So they had to roll him out. So if they roll him out, the defensive end's already sitting there. So we did make that adjustment.
So you did make that adjustment. So you made that adjustment after you scored. Just
We made that adjustment at the half.
at the half, okay. Or anything is after you scored, did you make adjustment or you didn't have to because they was doing pretty good defense on defense? Like,
No, we didn't really. Just kept it simple.
good. Well, that's the biggest part about high school football, the KISS method. You know.
But
So-
yeah, we just had to do what we did. We don't throw them 14 different coverages out there or 14 different defenses.
Right.
Keep it simple.
We have probably 8 different fronts. Just moving the interior linemen around, the linebackers around. That's about it.
Right.
And cover 2 or 3.
Mhm.
Throw in a man there every now and then.
Yeah.
That's about it. But if you do that and you know what your job is based on different formations and you just practice that, you don't really need to have the whole notebook of things.
Yeah. So what did you learn about the team's character from pulling off a close win?
We are a tight-knit group. That doesn't mean that they want to eat Sunday dinner with each other, just like, when Coach Crigger and I played together, Grundy, he didn't like everybody that we played with, but he had to respect them, And I think the respect is in the locker room for everybody, And
They keep it on the field. They trust each other out there.
Brotherhood.
I
mean,
mean,
they-
little brothers going on
this-
out there.
this-
Grundy mentality.
This
yeah.
group gets it. I mean, we could go the rest of the year and go 1-9 or whatever down the road, but this group gets it, and they're gonna give it all every single time we play. I mean, that's what I feel like.
That's all
That's
you
what
can
that
ask
showed
for.
me at the end of that ball game when I turned around and seen 40 seconds left. And I was trying to do that math with my fingers. I was like, I seen Marcus raise his hands up. I turned back around. I was like, yeah, we win.
Well, I mean, that's a position you hadn't been in a while.
Well,
So
it was just good times. Like I said, it was great. It was all on the kids. I mean, they had to go out there and execute what we wanted them to do. And at the end of the day, defense did it for us. And I'll take that over anything. It doesn't matter. I don't care if we had negative yards. We won 6-0, and they'll remember that. Their
Absolutely.
last game ever at Twin Valley. They'll remember that.
You
Seeing
talking
the
about it
excitement
being
just on the video that y'all posted, seeing the excitement of the kids when the clock went to 0.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's why
it
it
hit
is.
them. That's right. It hit
Yeah,
them. They were so excited.
And
that's
that was another thing that Chris called me after he watched that video, and he said, "Man," he said, "I love watching Tommy walk out there with his arms in the air
man.
going towards those kids."
And the kids was
Yeah.
excited coming off the field.
Yeah.
You could just see.
It was great. It
Great
was a great feeling. I mean, it's probably ranks up there back when we beat Grundy. I mean, that was pretty. The Twin Valley's excited then, and I'm just like Coach Stiltner said, when it hit 0, it was great.
all right. Going in this week, Montcalm Thursday night. Short week for you guys. Tomorrow's holiday. I know you probably practice tomorrow and Tuesday, and probably go in shorts Wednesday, and get ready for Montcalm. How do you prepare your players for a high pressure situation like you just had?
Well, first of all, we're going to practice Tuesday in our game stuff. We'll see Coach Stiltner come up with a thing last year when we practice and we do our agilities, we go straight in and do our sprints. Like we run and do our conditioning way before practice. So they can, when they practice, they don't have to look at the ends like, gosh, we still got them gashers or we still got them 12, 40-yard sprints. So we're done of all that. And then he come up with a way, how they make these jerseys so tight now. And on Fridays when you wear them, it's different than wearing them mesh practice jerseys. So he come up with this year, one day a week, we're wearing our full game stuff and practicing. So stretches our jerseys out, we can breathe in them. So on Friday, it's not going to be the first time we get it. They know what to expect. It ain't going to be hyper, how kids hyperventilate and stuff like that. We ain't had that.
Good.
And that's what we've been doing. We've been just putting our game stuff on, and that's what we do on one day a week. So
Get them used to
this week it's going to be on a Tuesday.
Good deal. Did the close game expose areas that the team needs to improve on?
Well, gosh, mighty Tim, we didn't score and couldn't move the ball. What do you think? I mean, sweet Lord.
Here we go.
Spell it for you.
Gosh, almighty.
Well, so you said
We got a lot to work on
offense.
offense. Yes.
Okay, well, that's all you had to say. I mean,
Somebody told me a long time ago that whether you win or lose, it's never as good as you might think it is. It's never as bad as you think it is. You just review the film and see what you need to adjust. Defensively, I know we got to get set up quicker.
Yeah.
A lot of times we were still running around trying to get to the B gap or A gap, so we got to get there and get down on the ground quicker. Then we got to work on our trips coverage and even play spread us out, because we're still struggling with that a little bit. Montcalm's more of a throwing team than Castlewood.
Yeah.
They got a little bit quicker linemen.
What was your penalty yards the other night? You remember?
One of them was an accidental face mask. I know that.
Yeah, I think we was. It's paper said we had.
I don't remember.
It said 2, but we had more than 2. I think maybe 3, 4, but I don't.
I'm not sure.
But to mirror what he says about offense, like you said, we go back and watch film. Them plays that wasn't working, it might have just been one person.
that's right.
Yeah.
And we just say, hey, man, if you just step here, we got it.
Yeah.
And, in the second half, when we did get the lead and got it, we did get a couple first downs to milk that clock a little bit. I mean, we'd have loved to just ended the game doing it, but our power started working. Our lead started hitting up in there pretty good, and then we'd punt, give ourselves better field position. Then they fumbled. We got it back, and we got a couple more first downs. And next thing you know, time's out. But we would like to end it with them not having the ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right. Yeah.
but like Coach said, we go watch the film. It could be just one simple step
Some
block
simple
down.
minor
Absolutely.
adjustment
Yeah.
that you can
Step
make.
here, step there.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, it's not as ever bad as it seemed, and it's never as good as it seems.
Well, I'm happy for Twin Valley.
Oh yeah.
Very much.
Really happy for Twin Valley. Congratulations on that. That's a major win for Twin Valley. And I'm so glad you guys, because you guys been there from day one.
Yeah, been
I
there.
mean, y'all been there from day one.
I've not been there since day one. Crigger's been there longer than I have.
Yeah, but
I've
don't
been
give
there
me
for
credit.
a while.
You've been there a while, though.
Been there a
been
while.
there-
I ain't been there from day one, day 2008. So,
Yeah, but you got look. You guys went through the highs.
oh
and the
yeah,
lows.
we've been to. I mean, people know. Every coach should have to coach at a small school one time or another. I feel like it's like Mance always. I mean, Mance always supported us, and he come and showed up and act like he was watching us one game, and we was playing Big Creek. I'm not gonna get into none of that, but
We don't need to get into that.
You sure he was there watching you?
but it's what he said. But we always talk about switching. Like let me go to Richlands and you come down here to Twin Valley. And he's like, man, it takes different people to do what you do, and and it ain't like that. The double A schools and these big schools don't go through what we go through either. I mean, they have their times too, but everybody should experience a small school 20-player football team and just try to make it through and just get after it, because the kids that's there, they want to be there.
One thing my guys like to or think is kind of interesting. Do any of y'all know how long as far as the total accumulation of minutes you play full throttle on a football field?
I don't know that.
Less
But I
than
should.
7 minutes.
10 was probably about
You average
3
about
minutes.
40 plays on defense. You average about 40 on defense and throwing some special.
3.5.
How long does an average play last?
Well, it just
About
depends.
4 seconds. If it's lasting longer than 4 seconds, you're getting beat.
Wrong, yeah.
Yeah, you're getting beat. And so you got about 3 minutes on offense, 3 on defense, and a minute on special teams. So I tell my guys, I said, you can do anything for 4 seconds. I said, give it everything that you got for 4 seconds. And I said, and you get 25-second break. You get back to the huddle, this and that. You rest, get another 4 seconds, another 4 seconds. That adds up to 3 minutes on defense.
I've never thought
That's
of it
crazy.
like that, but that's good. I'm thank you for letting me know that, because I never thought about it like that. So that's why you're the genius of the Twin Valley
He is.
football team.
Well,
I understand why you're in that position.
well, we know it don't take much.
I was gonna get I can't come back.
No,
it's on YouTube.
He's already wanting to cut
So
part
I
of
can
this.
say what I want. And this is YouTube, man.
Baby program.
All right.
But I'm looking forward to. Actually, I'm hoping all 4 of us will be at Montcalm
Yeah.
Thursday
No,
night.
you
Yeah.
should.
I ain't gonna be
Maybe.
at Montcalm. I'm gonna be at Twin Valley.
Well, we're gonna be at Twin
It's
Valley.
okay.
We're gonna come to Twin Valley. Watch you guys.
Well, why are y'all letting him leave?
So did we get
I mean,
free hot dogs?
y'all letting him leave.
Did we get free hot
No.
dogs?
He's got to make that money, buddy. He ain't gonna give you no free hot dogs.
But we're planning on being there at 6 o'clock. So
But all jokes aside, though, guys, congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Proud of you.
No
Oh,
Very,
doubt.
yeah.
very happy for you.
I can't say enough
You and
for
your
you
kids.
guys, especially the kids. The kids need it.
I just hope we can
That's it.
repeat it and play hard. I mean, like I
No
said,
doubt.
just do what we did. Play a lot better offensively, of course, but just play as hard as we did Friday and let the ball land wherever it is. I
Yep.
mean, where
There you go.
it is what it is.
Well, let's talk about Montcalm a little bit. What do they have this year? Have you seen them?
Well, they
play?
line up about like Castlewood does. Quarterback's a little bit quicker. I mean, we got to get him closer. Them 4-yard gains that Castlewood was getting. This kid, if we don't get him, he can make it a 14-yard gain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's a little quicker. Got a good little receiver. Got a couple linemen back from last year. I mean, Havens does a great job over there. He's in the same boat we are.
Their linemen aren't as big as Castlewood, but they appear to be quicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Did they start a week early in West Virginia? So they've had 2 games already? Cause
No, they played one.
I know they
That's
played Craig
open.
County.
They played Craig
Okay.
County Friday,
Okay.
which is always a tough game. But we hope we get after it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if we can special teams, I don't think we turned the ball over fumble wise. We turned it over on downs, but we didn't have any stupid special team stuff. I was like, if we can do all that again Thursday and leave there playing better offensively, then it'll be good.
Good. Well, I wish Twin Valley Panthers good luck for Thursday night against Montcalm. Remember, it's at Twin Valley Elementary Middle School, and it starts at 6 o'clock.
And
Thursday night.
by the way, for the fans, do you all have anything planned that night as far as like halftime festivities or
The
anything?
first thing we've got planned is September 12th. We're going to honor have all of our administration and former coaches back
Okay.
for that day. Hopefully, still waiting. Hopefully, have them a little food, something.
and that's a 12.
That's September 12th versus Bland. Our next 6 games are at home.
Yeah.
Got a good AD at Twin Valley. I know that.
But
I think
guys,
he drives a bus.
I won't comment on that.
So we
really-
just halfway through.
I had
your
7
business
home games, but
One-
You
Van
definitely not
folded.
playing band.
By the way,
Van is out.
okay.
by the way, did you replace that one?
Not
or-
yet, but I'm in talks with Phelps playing them again, or Montcalm playing them again, maybe on a Monday or something. They can't
Oh,
play
we're
on
away.
Friday. That one will be away.
Yeah. Okay.
That one will be away. But that's nothing set. We're just trying to find that 10th game.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be good to have that 10th game with it.
Might have it. Depends after we play Hurley.
All righty, guys. We
appreciate
we
you.
really appreciate y'all joining us today.
And thank you, Bellacino's. Always come to Bellacino's. Best pizza in town.
All righty, guys. We're now joined by MJD's radio personality, Rodney Davis. Rodney, got an exciting season coming up with football and everything, and going to have quite a bit of coverage this season, correct?
We are. First of all, I appreciate the invite to come down here. Sorry I didn't make it last week,
Oh,
but I was a little tied up Saturday,
Yeah.
so I don't think
Yeah.
Sunday I could cut out just coming out of my
Well, you
wedding.
better choose your words carefully
Yeah.
there. Hopefully you wasn't tied up now.
Well, no. But again, I
We'll
appreciate
keep
the
it
invite.
PG.
Yeah, we need to keep it PG for sure. But yeah, this year we want to do things just a little bit different.
Yeah.
As it's been done in the years past, with this being the final year of each individual school prior to consolidation, I believe it's very important that we travel around as equally as possible to get these kids the recognition that they deserve.
Oh, yeah, for
They
sure.
work hard for what they do on the field. And there's a lot of folks that they just can't travel to the games. Maybe they're out of town. Maybe they're disabled. Some folks can't do the cold weather when we get deeper into the fall. So it's important to me to showcase each one of these schools as equally as possible. We just come off of the Grundy at Ridgeview game. Our game of the week this week will be Eastside at Hurley. From there, September the 12th, we'll cover the Bland County Twin Valley game, and then Grundy Twin Valley,
On the
September the 19th. The 26th of September, Grundy at Honaker. October the 3rd, we'll have Twin Valley and Twin Springs. October 10th, Tazewell at Grundy. Hurley at Grundy on the 17th. Now, I'm still working on the October 24th date. That's something that Tommy had hit on just a few minutes ago, where they lost the van game. We did have that one down, so I'm still trying to see what's going to happen with Twin Valley, if they're going to pick up a game or what.
Okay.
Halloween night, October 31st, we'll have Castlewood at Hurley, and then the final regular season game will be Twin Valley at Hurley on November the 7th. And as far as I know, we have put together a schedule to get all of the homecoming games in there as well.
Okay. That's great. Now, do you all still have it to where it can be accessed online as well?
Yes, for
I know
anybody
usually you'd go to the WMJD page and they'd be like a little thing there.
Live.
Yeah, live.
Yeah, for anybody that lives out of the area, we are online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's WMJDradio.com. There's a listen live option, and as long as you have cell phone service or Wi-Fi coverage, you'll be able to take us anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I know we had heard that some of the coverage last week as far as the NFHS
Yes.
was a little sketchy at times. I think we had spoken about it outside, and it's great that, classic radio as we know it, traditional radio is still around to be able to get these games out to people, like you said, that can't make it.
It's hard. FM radio, believe it or not, I never thought that I would be talking about FM radio being almost obsolete. Technology's great. We have every answer we could want at our fingertips with the internet, but there's caveats to that as well with streaming services and whatnot. Then you have social media where folks can advertise. Sometimes FM radio is forgotten about, and it takes an unfortunate event like the floods in February before people realizes, hey,
How important it
XM
is.
radio is not going to talk about where I can go get food. So we are struggling.
Yeah.
I've talked to stations in larger markets and 100,000 watt stations. They're struggling just as bad because of streaming services and because of social media. So it's scary times, but we still have a lot of great people here in the community, and it's something anybody that listens to the radio, I try to hammer it all the time, is to support these community businesses. Anybody that's been involved in schools or civic organizations, I guess everybody here has kids. When we open up the yearbooks and we go to the back and we look at the sponsors, you're not going to see these large chain stores. You're going to see the folks in this community that gets behind schools, civic organizations, radio stations, and stuff like that. So we still have a lot of folks in the community that's helping us out. And this year, it started off slow, been able to sell the sponsors to get on the air, but it did pick up momentum. And this is probably one of the smallest years as far as sponsorships that I've had to work through in a few years, but nevertheless, we're still able to get it on, and I'm forever grateful for the sponsors that did come on board this year, because to me, high school sports is a must. You need that on the radio for the morale, for the students, and for the parents, for the families.
Yeah. What, if any, plans do you all have as far as winter sports or spring sports, as far as wrestling, boys and girls basketball, or anything along those lines?
We go from football into basketball, that carries over into wrestling. In years past, we did cover basketball. After we lost Lloyd Combs, we no longer do basketball. Lloyd was just a tremendous man when it come to sports and radio and newspaper. But we all know that Lloyd was big on making sure that county-wide sports as a whole was covered.
Yeah.
And when we lost Lloyd, somewhere along the way, that just kindly, unfortunately, got pushed to the back. So right now, what we cover is our football, boys and girls basketball, and then our wrestling.
Yeah.
Do you all do you have a list of sponsors
Yes.
you'd like to mention?
Yeah, we do. For this broadcast season, of course, Southwest Virginia Professional Insurance Agency, West River Conveyors, Medical Park Pharmacy, True Point Bank, Noah Horn Well Drilling, Southwest Virginia Sportsman, Buchanan General Hospital, and Pump House Supply. is who's backing this broadcast season for us. And we appreciate it more than I could ever put into words. Without them, we wouldn't have sports on the radio.
Yeah.
Now, that's just the football season.
That is just the football season.
So
yes.
come wrestling season and girls and boys basketball season, if you want to sponsor to have them on air, they need to contact you.
Yeah, we're going to come knocking again.
Okay.
With each sports season as it comes around, that will be a completely different sports package.
Right.
So,
Well, hopefully, stuff like this gets out. They'll come knocking to you all. You don't have to reach out a hand. They'll come, and say, "Here you go."
I hope so. That's something that, again, I try to talk about on the air a lot. Is I get a lot of calls each week. Are you going to be at this ball game? Are you going to be at that ball game? And thankfully, I'm able to say yes. But if the folks knew how close that it has been at times for me to say no, I believe it would change a lot of minds. Tim, he's had a little glimpse behind the curtain. He helped. Well, he didn't help. He pretty much sold last season's basketball, and he got to see firsthand. I know that there's people struggling with money, but I also know that advertising is going to be a way to increase your traffic potentially. It's going to get people through your door, and it's going to get these kids, as I keep saying, they deserve all the recognition in the world.
But it don't have to be a business.
No.
If you have a child playing sports in basketball, girls or boys, if WMJD can get enough interest in it, and it don't have to be, I like what he's done with the football schedule this year, all county schools. I like that. And if he can work something out like that with basketball, girls and boys, it don't have to be a lot of money. I mean, because if we can get 20 people giving $50, that $50 out of 20 people goes a long ways, don't it, Rodney?
It does. It absolutely does. And
What's
there's
it cost to sponsor per game?
per game right now is around $120.
So that's.
Wow.
I mean, I would have thought it'd be more than that. That's very reasonable.
That's very manageable.
My package right now for the entire season is $1,200, and that gets you your on-air coverage, our streaming over the internet, and our Facebook, along with our weekly promo that plays several times a day that mentions the business. So there's a lot of airtime, and if you break it down per game, for $120 per game is not a lot at all.
Now, what we had spoken about earlier about, I overheard somebody doing the broadcast on NFHS when I went back and watched some of the game, and you said no, I didn't think it was us. But do you know how that could be done as far as you potentially being on these broadcasts? Like, for example, Eastside at Hurley, how you could be the voice on that video, because it can be done. I don't know the process.
All it would take, and if I was there, it was without my knowledge or permission, but it would just take whoever's producing that show to pull our live stream up on the internet.
Because I don't know if you've watched it on there or not, but 90% of the time there's nobody talking.
No.
All you hear is the PA addresser.
Mhm.
But now some games you go to, they're linked into some local radio and they're calling the action.
Now, there was two gentlemen at the Ridgeview Grundy game in an adjacent room to me. So I do know that they had somebody there physically. But I also started receiving text messages saying that their feed was starting to go down, that they could not hear it. So I don't know if somewhere along the way they may have used our feed or what, because I haven't went back and watched it.
I think when we go to the new school, you'll hear Rodney or somebody announce games that will be on that network. In my opinion, I think there's some, without really saying that it's going to happen, but I think there's some people in the backgrounds wanting to do that. They wanting people to do that. So going forward with the new school, new high school, I think that's going to happen.
You know, I've always said with this new school coming and everything, and like Rodney had mentioned, the overwhelming work that Lloyd Combs put into the entire area, I think it would be a tremendous gesture if they would name the press box after Lloyd Combs.
Oh, I'd agree. I have never thought about that. If they're going to even name the field or the press box or the basketball court.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what they're going to do,
But,
but I totally agree. I think it should be named after Lloyd Combs.
Yeah.
Something. It don't have to be the football
Right.
field. It don't have to be the gym court. If it's just, if you know, he likes hot dogs. We know that.
Yeah,
Yes,
he loved
he did.
hot dogs.
if
Yeah,
it's just
he,
something that, you know, like you said, the press box, you know, I would hope and pray that the school board would do something in honor of Lloyd Combs.
Yeah.
Just because of that. And
I
he was a great man. And I don't know how he did it. He called the game and done stats all at one time. I can't call the game and do.
And I've heard people say that you couldn't read his writing.
No, I've worked with him. I'm telling you, he's like chicken scratch.
Yeah.
It was bad. But now he could tell you every word on it. You know,
Bulls, I'm telling you
decipher
what, I was at and I think Tim, I mentioned this to Tim one time, and I think I don't know, you may have been one of the guys doing it.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most moving things I believe I've ever seen in my life. I was at a Grundy football game, and some coaches and some other men grabbed his wheelchair, and they all packed him in his wheelchair all the way to the top of the Grundy bleachers to the press box.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that right there, if nothing else, that should show you what Lloyd Combs meant to this area.
Mm-hmm. To kindly echo what Tim said, I had the honor when I first started with WMJD to be the producer for Lloyd for many years. And when it would come time for halftime, when everybody would go to the locker room, he was by himself. He would pack the equipment. He would set up. He would broadcast the play-by-play. And come halftime, he would tell you yardages for every person on that field. He would tell you their completions. Anything that you could name, he would tell you their penalty yardages down with pinpoint accuracy. I attempted it one time, and I will not attempt it again. I don't understand how the man done it. He was talented beyond words. That is for sure, and he dedicated his life to sports.
Yeah. I know digging through a lot of newspapers in recent months and everything to try to put together a very comprehensive history of football and basketball in the county, and I've literally went through newspapers and trying to figure out player A. I know he had 1,000 yards this year. So what I'd do is I'd pull up these articles. Week 1, Lloyd would have it there, and you'd sit and write it down. I'd write it down and go through the whole season, and you could piece together a puzzle from Lloyd's stats to be able to come up with totals. And I hope to eventually release this, but I'm like worried that if I release it, maybe there's player here that I'm missing or whatever. Which that don't bother me any. I mean, but that's great because then you'll give me something I didn't know and stuff. But Lloyd did tremendous work for so long for the county. That's for sure. And the kids.
Well, he's very missed, but switching to Rodney, Rodney's done a real good job stepping in. People might not know Derek Hall had a stroke, and he might not want a lot of people to know, but he had a stroke about 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago.
I would say 2, and he's actually, I had him on the program, and he done a full update. So as far as everybody knowing, Dirk is an open book. I asked him after the stroke if he had an issue with anybody knowing about it. He said absolutely not. So with whatever you're going to say, I can promise you would have his blessing.
Well, Derek's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
2004
in this community, and I respect Derek for what he's done with the radio station. And then when he got, he brought Rodney on, and Rodney's really took it to the next level. That's the way I call it, because Rodney sees things, and he gets out and talks to sponsors and really looks at things that you can help the sponsor, help them not only just save them some money, but how he can explain to them that we can do this and we can do this and we can do this and have options for them. And where Derek, he just went out and said, this is what we have. And nothing against Derek, but at this day and time where money's so tight in Buchanan County, I like that about you, Rodney, because you give them options. You can do this for this much or this for this much and this long a time. I like that. And you have, just like you said, you got 4 commercial breaks and during all day, and you got the coffee pot show. And you got the bluegrass show. And there's so much going on at WMJD. If people didn't know, like me, I didn't know till I got involved a little bit with you. and been down there and seen all the ups, you know, with the radio, because there's a lot goes on there behind the scenes nobody sees.
There are times, to kindly go along with what you're saying, that people don't think about. Before we even turn the mic on to broadcast any game, we could be $150 up to $200 paying out before we even get on. We have to pay a producer. We have to pay for missed airtime. You have usually a talent fee for whoever's calling the ball game. And when we travel out of the county, we have to give that respective school a broadcast fee as well, which will increase anytime we go into the postseason.
Right.
So there's a lot of fees associated with just getting any broadcast on the air.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that when I first started. Then Rodney, you know, we started doing basketball, and I was blessed enough to call some games with Rodney, and he does a better job than I do.
No.
But I was just blessed enough to be able to be there, and Rodney done an excellent job, and he's doing an excellent job, and that's what I like. Is when Rodney first started doing basketball, guys, he'd cover his mic and said, "Now, what number was that?" Or what did they call?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you, Rodney?
I had no knowledge of basketball whatsoever. I was not well versed in it at all. And I watched as Tim would talk and kind of pieced it together as we went during our breaks. As he said, you know, I had a lot of questions. And thankfully, I had somebody there that could get it down on a level where I could understand it and retain it. So if it wasn't for Tim, I probably wouldn't even be doing basketball.
That head's got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah. Well, but on the other side of that, Rodney, he caught on so quick. I mean, if sometimes I couldn't be there, and he had to do both sides because we split it up. I do one side, and he'd do the other side, or I do usually home, and I do give him all the visitors every time. He said, I need a roster of them. And he'd look them up on MaxPress or something and get the roster and memorize their names and their numbers. And when they call them out, he could call them out.
Have you done football and basketball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
this is my.
Which one would you prefer calling? Which one do you feel like that it's easier to call?
Well, there's pros and cons to both. While you have a slow pace with football, I feel like I'm a little bit more knowledgeable with football. But when you don't have anybody there in the booth as your color commentator in between all that dead time, you know, it kind of feels like you're saying the same thing and you're being repetitive. And just like at Ridgeview Friday, the tempo had slowed down getting back to the ball, and I'm there by myself, and I'm in the back of my head thinking, am I going to lose this audience? Because there's not a lot happening. Unfortunately, it was a runaway game. It's the first game of the season, so what can you possibly do to fill in that time gap? Whereas basketball, I lack the knowledge, but it's such a fast-paced tempo, you don't have to worry about filling dead air. You don't have to worry about trying to think of things on the fly.
About got to learn how to slow down.
You do.
Yeah.
Only thing about basketball, Chris, is where they have us, or Rodney or whoever it's announcing, where they have you setting is when a referee calls a foul, and you can't see what the referee called a foul.
It's usually farthest. When I had to help Lloyd, we was usually the farthest you could get from the table.
All the way over in that door, in that corner.
But to answer what you can do in that dead time in football, you could do what Lloyd did, just complain about the referee.
Yeah, yeah,
that's what he would do.
God love his heart, and I've caught myself doing that a time or two. Yes,
I like it. Last year, I listened to him, and there's one night I couldn't be there, and I listened to him do a football game, and they done something. He said, "You must be blind. I didn't even see that." That's what Rodney would say one night, and I was like, "Man, you don't hear it from Rodney. Rodney don't really do that."
They're bringing out his inner Lloyd.
Well, he's learning.
Yeah.
He's learning that he can express his opinion.
Now, Lloyd could get really animated, especially if he got up in the season to the playoffs. He'd get really animated, you know. And to the point, I remember some that they'd have to bleep, you know, in today's standards anyway. But yeah, he'd get pretty excited.
There was a time or 10 where I would sit there as the producer when he would start getting fired up, and I would just wait and pray, Lord, we're not on a 5-second delay. I can't hit a button. Please don't go here, but he didn't. But I guess the biggest laugh that Tim and I had, I don't know if he remembers, it was not this past basketball season, the previous one before that, is when the three blind mice comment had come out of my, and I still, from time to time, will ask, somebody will ask me about the three blind mice comment with the officiating that night.
Or what about them hitting the floor?
Yeah. Yes,
Every
sir.
time they hit the floor, we, dive after ball or something. We'd always, I can't remember that song. Do you remember what it was that we always?
Yeah, watch the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah,
I don't know
watch
who
the bodies
sings it.
hit the
Watch
floor.
bodies hit the floor.
that was something we always talked about, and it was so good. But WMJD's been part of this community for a long time, and I hope they be a part of it for a long time because we need them. We need WMJD. Rodney, I appreciate everything you do. People don't realize what all you do, but I know what you do because I've seen you do a lot of it, and they don't understand that you travel to ball games and you're out money, gas money, you're out food money, and that's something you don't get back because you've been doing it for free.
That's true.
Because you want to take care of the kids, and you say I'll do it for free for any kid. But if we get enough sponsors out here to help, we can start paying you.
Yeah, that's the reason that it's not that Dirk would ever ask me to go anywhere for free. It comes back to our conversation we were having a few minutes ago with not many people buying radio ads. When you don't have a ton of money, when you go from billing $25,000 a month to barely billing $8,000, and then on that $8,000, what it's going to be recoverable, it starts getting tight. When your operating budget is around $4,200 per month, there are most of the games I do for free. And again, Dirk would pay me, but I look at it, I can get it on the back end.
Right.
Why would I jump up and down and scream for it today when we could potentially work just a little bit longer and we're going to make it up on the back end of things?
Right.
Yeah, good way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's why I respect you. A lot of people don't know you helped me at the Lonesome Pine Raceway. We was over about 2 or 3 years. I ran that place, and you was right there, and you've helped me. And since then, we've become very, very good, close friends, and really enjoy being around you and really respect you.
Absolutely, likewise.
But Rodney, we really appreciate you joining us today. Best of luck this season, and folks, he'll be covering the East Side at Hurley game this Friday.
Yes, sir.
And we, like I said, we really appreciate you
Yeah,
joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, we would like to go over the schedule for the upcoming week, guys. We got another Willowbrook Open on Monday for the golf. That's, of course, all schools. Tuesday, Grundy at Honaker for volleyball. Huge game there. Tazewell at Hurley, also on Tuesday. Wednesday, cross country's at Enix Branch. Thursday, Grundy at Graham. Again, they just played here at Grundy last week. Richlands at Hurley, volleyball. And then don't forget the schedule change as far as Twin Valley football. They will be hosting Montcalm on Thursday evening. And if everything goes well, we're all going to try to be there that night for that one.
Yeah,
And that starts at 6 o'clock.
If you're a Hurley fan, get out. You get out of practice, whatever. Come up and watch them, support them. Get up there. This is the time that you can actually get up and watch some football. And
Well, I remember back in the day, most kids would do that, so you kind of
Scout them out.
get a good look at them. So it was good to have a game on an off day like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Friday we got East Side at Hurley, as we were saying there a few minutes ago. WMJD will be covering that one, and Rye Cove at Grundy.
That's a chance for Twin Valley fans then to repay back, get out
Yeah,
there and watch
yeah.
Hurley and Grundy.
There you go.
Definitely. So, guys, any thought on any of the games that are set
Man.
this week?
Twin Valley, I think Twin Valley will come out strong since their win, the first week win. I think they're going to come out strong against Montcalm. And Hurley will come out good against Eastside because Eastside is a top-notch team. But I'm not going to count Hurley out because Hurley put some good points on the board last week, this past Friday. Grundy with the Ryco Eagles, we faced them last year in a cold weather and playoffs at Rye Cove, and Roddy knows that because he was outside broadcasting outside in that. So
Oh, goodness.
it was very cold, and they had a good ball team last year. So my prediction is you'll see Rye Cove and Eastside in the region finals, probably facing each other.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a good call on that. I think that, as you said, I think Hurley will play good. I don't think they're going to throw up a goose egg. Nothing like. I mean, they got a lot of stuff they got to clean up. I think they'll be competitive, but if they got to cut down on the turnovers and they're just sloppy stuff that's simple that they could fix. But I'm sure that Zach will work on it this week. But then Twin Valley. I think Twin Valley's got a chance to go 2-0.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they got that grit going for them. They're playing this team that they're going to be very competitive against. East Side's a tough team for her.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tough task. Not to say they can't do it. They've done it before and they've been counted out. And with Grundy, Grundy's got some talent. They've got some athletes. It's just a matter of getting everything start clicking for them. And I think they can do it. But again, this is not these teams that Grundy's got on their schedule. They got the toughest schedule of anybody in the district.
I mean, you guys are playing A2A schedule. Like
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes.
It's so much different.
That just gets you prepared for next
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
year.
And cross country this week. Hopefully, some of the ones that was unable to be there last week will be there this week.
I have
wish
seen.
Ella well. Hope she gets back feeling better. Wish she
Yeah.
gets back running.
Yeah, I've
And,
seen Keyston
Keyston
running,
also.
so he's already
Keyston, yeah.
running, and my daughter's already back at it. So we're I think the team's where they need to be.
Good deal.
In all the county schools, because man, everybody's getting sick right now. So I just hope and pray all the athletes and everybody in the county schools stay healthy.
And the golf, more than likely, hopefully, another big performance out of several
Yeah.
of our county golfers on Monday. I don't know necessarily if they might be another event later in the week.
Boys, if Pittman wins again, I'm gonna get me a T-shirt. I am gonna get me an autograph.
Pittman for president.
No, but I'm gonna get him to autograph.
Will
for
they?
me.
Do they have a match on Monday with
Yeah,
Labor Day?
Tuesday. It'll be
Okay,
Tuesday,
okay.
not Monday.
Oh yeah, yeah,
All right.
that is right. Yeah.
It'll be Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we could actually do this. Maybe we could actually get you and Tim to go over and him give you some pointers and some lessons or something.
Are you talking to who? You talking to? You talking to Chris or Derek?
You two.
Well, Derek plays too.
Oh, okay.
No, you go right ahead.
Oh, I didn't watch.
Derek,
My-
no, Derek
my-
can
my-
give you supporters with a pencil. He can do that.
Hey, here we go again. We're going to have to get Chris off his cheating thing.
Really? Hey, now I can bring receipts.
Oh, it's so good,
Change my
guys.
life, Chris.
And then the volleyball, it's Grundy starting off 2-0. I mean, the Honaker game will be tough next week, but maybe they can move it to 4-0.
Well, I knew Hannah talked about Lexi even talked about Honaker. She was, Lexi Fuller's talking about Honaker, how tough they are. So
That game is where? I wouldn't mind to go watch these girls
Grundy
play. I really
and
would.
Honaker.
Grundy at Honaker.
At Honaker,
Yeah.
okay.
So that'll be a good game.
Yeah.
But
When's their first? They're their next home match.
Oh Lord.
oh Lord, that'll be next week. I'm not sure right off. I'd have to
I
look
wonder
at
if
the
it's just
schedule.
something. Maybe their next home match. If we ain't got much going on, we can maybe go and try to cover it.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
some interviews and stuff like that. Because I mean, like you've never really watched. It's exciting. You got a team
Yeah,
like say you see these stats. If they're playing that well, it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, I was. I really got into the Jal Burton game there that I watched last week. It was.
It's pretty good.
It's amazing how athletic they are and stuff. As far as the first thing I noticed was I'm like, God Almighty, you have to have some serious cardio. I mean, they're like constantly moving.
And they're talking. They're always talking.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
and
Something girls like doing anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You went there. I did.
yeah.
Hey, boys, I've been married for 32 years. I'm allowed to talk.
You can
about
allow
it.
to talk.
You don't have social media.
She gives you permission, didn't
She give me permission.
All righty,
Good
guys.
one.
Well, that's it for the schedule. We'll move on to the next part. All right, we're here with Harvey Cooper
Yes, sir.
of Twin Valley. Harvey, quite a game other night. Twin Valley pulled off the win in a shutout, 6-0. Went down to the wire there at the end, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had recovered a fumble. You care to tell us about that? A 41-yard fumble
It was actually
Recovery?
43 yards.
43? Okay.
Yeah. I seen the ball in the dude's hands, and I already broke their line, so I cut back, and the man on the D line,
Yeah.
Lucas Looney, he's a big old boy.
Yeah.
Well, he stripped the ball from it, and I seen it flying. I caught it, and I took off running towards the end zone. Well, as I started running, I was just saying in my head, I'm a hamburger, and these are some hungry dogs, so I better not get caught.
Oh, I love that.
That's a good way to look at it.
I love that illustration.
Yeah, that was a very good illustration there.
Yeah.
I'd say that was pretty nerve-wracking for a freshman, especially with the game on the line, to be running in like that.
Well, we had some pretty good blockers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you all put forth several good defensive stops there late in the game, even before the score, to kind of hold them off and everything.
Yeah. Well, we have a good defense.
Yeah.
We could work on the offense a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that was some of the sentiments yesterday as well.
That was a hot topic yesterday when we talked to Coach Crigger and Coach Stiltner. Coach Crigger said, well, one thing we got to do is work on our offense. Defense is what won that game for us. So
yeah, I think Tim asked the question, what needs to be worked on? And Tommy said, well, of course, the offense, Tim. But
that's what he said. So
but yeah.
I just want to say, man, I'm so proud of you. You being a freshman and first time being on the football field with varsity teams.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Let me ask you a couple of questions. When you first started, when you went and put your uniform on and stepped on that football field, what was running through your head? What was running through your mind?
Well, what was running through my mind was, if we win, this right here is going to be legendary. First time we beat Castlewood, and it's the last year for Twin Valley.
Yeah, that's a heck of a way to look at it.
Right.
So, was you nervous when you first started? When you went out there, do you play both sides of the ball, defense and offense?
Yeah.
Okay. What position you play on offense?
I play wide receiver on offense.
Wide receiver.
Yeah.
And on defense?
I play middle linebacker.
Middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Okay. Your nerves. I knew when I played years ago, now it's been 30 years ago since I played ball. Every game I went to or every game I was in, I always nervous till that first initial hit. And it goes away. So was you like that?
No, not really. I really don't get nervous that much. I just don't really think about it being nervous. I just get more excited than anything.
Okay. So Coach Crigger said that you guys going to wear your game equipment, game pants and game jerseys tomorrow in practice. Yeah. So you get used to it, because the way these are now, these uniforms are tight fit. I mean, you've got to really sweat in them to get them stretched out a little bit.
I don't think he'd have much problem getting them on as little as he is.
He's a little fella.
Yeah.
No, the one I had, the first time I put it on my pads and got it on, I was at the house, I was trying to get it off, and I couldn't. My arms and my head was just stuck in it. That jersey was very tight.
They're all tight like that, yes, sir.
Yeah.
What do you think about playing for, your honest opinion about Coach Crigger? And you can be honest.
Well, he's a good coach, but
I love it.
He's just crazy.
He is crazy. He is, yes. What about Coach Stiltner?
Well, I think Coach Stiltner is one of the hardest ones out there. But the harder he is, it just helps us.
Yeah, Coach Stiltner.
It's good that you understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach Stiltner, of course, Coach Crigger, both, they played in college.
Yeah.
So it shows, and both of them are great people and great coaches. Your teammates, Coach Crigger's talked about it, and Coach Stiltner's talked about just the tight knit of all the teammates that your teammates you have? Is that way it is? Everybody's helping each other.
Well-
You got your back, they got your back, and you got their back.
And most of it in that football field and locker room, we're all tight. But in school, we just kind of branch out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
But once
you know,
we're
it's-
out there in all gear, we're like peanut butter and jelly. We're so tight.
Well, you know, it's that way with families and stuff.
Yeah.
You all may not, even as a family, they might be. I know both of my boys, they completely shared different interests. One was really into sports. One was really into, reading and video games and stuff. They was completely different people. And I'm sure it's that way with a team also. You've got different different ideals and different backgrounds that everybody's from. So, yeah, I can definitely see that.
How's the leadership on that team?
Well, most of it's good, but we still have a slight errors where it's just now getting into the game.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, I mean, this is the first game. You just went through the first game, and you're 1-0.
yeah,
And like you said, you beat Buchanan first time in school history. So that's a lot to be proud of. And you scored the touchdown to seal the deal.
Yep.
So that's something to be proud of.
yeah.
You're going to be a hero tomorrow at school.
Well, hopefully.
So they've got who is it?
Montcalm Thursday.
Montcalm Thursday night.
Yeah.
Only show in town, by the way. Thanks to some scheduling there. Tommy getting it scheduled there on Thursday. I'm sure you'll have some Grundy kids there, some Hurley kids there.
Well, I think that we will only have one practice, so
Yeah.
that's going to do something. It's either going to be one rough practice, and we're going to be trying to recover for one day, then back out there, or it's going to be like a walkthrough. We get out there and we win.
Yeah. You almost take it right in, almost like a warm up, going right into that game. So yeah.
If you could change anything on that football team, on Twin Valley High School football team, what would you change?
I would change Braden's ability to throw. He can't throw that good.
You're not the only one said that. You're not the only one said that. But he's a great athlete, right?
Yeah. He's gotten better from last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you can't pass? They can't pass the ball. They got to run the ball. You guys got to run the ball.
I ain't saying that. He's well, towards the end of the game, he starts getting tired, so he just starts overthrowing. But in the start of the game, he could throw it pretty good.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
How did you all keep your composure and everything and keep your spirits up through the whole game of being? I know there was several times that they would stop when you all was down inside the 20 several times, and just keep trying like that and ending up coming up short. How did you all stay up the rest of the game?
Well, we just kept telling each other that we got it. We can't let them win. We just gotta fight and fight and fight through it.
Yep.
We can't let them score. It's okay that we're getting down at the 20, but we have to at least win.
So you scooped that ball up and went for a touchdown. Then I'm assuming y'all went for a 2-point conversion. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I wasn't in on 2-point conversion. At halftime, I got subbed out.
Okay. So you scored a 6 points. So then they done a 2-point conversion. It failed, so made it 6-0.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if I'm not mistaken, they said there's about 7 minutes left in the game. Is that about right?
Yeah.
How did you keep your composure? Because listen, you just scored a touchdown. You're going to get the big hit, right?
And 7 minutes is a lifetime in football.
7 minutes, anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
So how did you keep your nose to the ground and knowing that you had to make them tackles? Because middle linebacker is very important.
Yeah. Well, I made that
Position.
touchdown, and then I was out for the 2-point because offense. I've already played my time on offense. Well, I'm out. I'm cheering with my buddies and all that. Well, then defense is back up. Well, yeah, it was kickoff. I'm on kickoff, so I get out there, strap my helmet on. I play kill man. Well, we just go, and it's different whenever you're out there on the field and when you're on the sidelines. On the sidelines, you can have that big head because you're doing good. But on that field, you got to have the right mindset. You can't have that big head. You got to know what to do and where to go.
So how did Coach Stiltner keep the defense calm down and positive through the last 7 minutes of that game, just to get you guys through that and to stop them and get the win? What did he say to you guys?
Well, he really didn't say much. It was mostly defense. We already knew what to do. We can't be all big-headed. We have to stay calm and keep them held off. He would tell us what to do.
What defense you need? Yeah.
Well, me and Isaac Maines, we're the middle linebackers, so we got to tell the
defensive line.
Defensive line what to do, what hole to go in to not mess up. Well, I know I seen this one dude coming out, and I wrap up, and I'm about to bring him down. Well, then 2 more people start pushing him so he could get 4 more yards. But I did get him down. But I think that was the last tackle I got. It was the 3rd play before the game ended.
Do you know about how many tackles you had that night?
Well, I had 7. I had 2 sacks, then 5 regular tackles.
So you sacked quarterback twice.
Yeah. It
That's
would have
great.
been 3, but right whenever I wrapped up, he threw the ball, and it landed in the fullback's hands, and one of my buddies, I don't remember which one, I seen him lay him out.
Well, that's pretty impressive, man. You done a great job being a freshman, first time on a varsity football field, and an opponent that's beat you guys, and now y'all you guys turning around, Twin Valleys turning around and beat them. I think that's quite an honor for you guys.
Yeah, it sure is.
I've got one more question. You know what this question is. If there's any sport that you can play other than football, you can pick any sport. It don't matter. It can be golf. It can be hockey. It don't have to be in Buchanan County sport. If you can pick any sport besides football, what would you play?
Either boxing or either boxing or baseball.
Okay. Do you play high school baseball?
I will.
Okay.
Where I was in 8th grade last year, we couldn't play it.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to be.
Yeah, that's one thing that's bad in this county is like once you get past that like 12-year age,
there's a gap.
There's a gap all the way up to high school where they can't even play baseball. So hopefully it'll be something they'll fix here in the area.
Maybe next year. What do you think about I keep coming up with questions. What do you think about coming up here to the Southern Gap High School next year?
Well, I probably won't play sports my first year. I might play my 2nd year there. I just want to get a feel for all the people and all that to see if we're going to get along or if they're going to cause trouble. Okay. I ain't about to come up here and start sports right off and not like my teammates. That ain't how you need to be. You need to at least get along with your teammates.
I agree, because that's your family when you're on that field, or if you're on that court, or whatever, your baseball field, or whatever sport you play and all that. But yeah, I totally agree. You got to get along with each other if I'm going to be beside of you at middle linebacker. We got to get along because we got to talk. Yeah, can't be no friction there.
So, what other sports are you going to be playing this year?
I'll probably be playing baseball. Okay. I ain't very good at basketball.
Okay.
Only thing I'm good at on basketball is getting rebounds and running.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
You ought to try in spring, maybe try track and field.
Yeah, track and field.
Yeah, I might,
for sure.
I might try some track and field.
We know you got some speed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Most of the guys on my crew here, Chris, who ain't here, and Derek, Tim, every one of them played sports with the exception of me, and that's something I regret. A lot of times I believe it's like not thinking that you're good enough or whatever. but at least I think you should try at anything.
Yeah, I played
If you have that desire, you should try.
I played basketball once, and it really wasn't my cup of tea. I really didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, even as a ninth grader, if you wanted to try it, you could always go for JV. I'm sure they definitely need people on JV as well and stuff. But it's been a pleasure having you here today, and a big congratulations on being the Player of the Week, and also helping your team to the big victory Friday night.
Yeah. One thing that you have to be as middle linebacker, you have to be real vocal with your teammates. And all that. Because if they can't hear the play and you do, you got to tell them so they don't mess up.
You've got a bird's eye view of everything.
Yeah. And one of my favorite plays is either down or 50, because you're right there on the line, and where I ain't like as big, I can shoot off faster and get through there.
Yeah.
Every time I was down, I was already through the line before they even got up.
Yeah, you're quick.
Yeah. I have that explosive power, as the coaches would say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I would explode off that ball.
Well, good luck Thursday night. We will be, Buchanan County Sports will be there.
Yep.
We will be there, and we'll be posting a lot of stuff about the game and as it goes on through the night. We want to wish you good luck for that.
Yeah.
I hope you scoop up another ball and run for a touchdown, or even intercept a pass or strip a ball or something.
Oh, yeah.
Or catch a pass. Well, I like to see you catch a pass for a touchdown.
I caught a pass Friday night. I would have ran, but number 12, he grabbed my face mask, and then a couple other Castlewood boys grabbed behind my shoulders and threw me down. The refs called it, and I was so mad. Felt like there was steam coming off my ears.
Oh, I understand.
But, man, it was a pleasure having you on
Thank
today.
you, Harvey.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming.
Harvey Cooper.
Yep.
Twin Valley High School Player of the Week.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you very much. All righty, guys. We're joined by Grundy Volleyball coach Hannah Lester.
Yes.
Hannah, a big week last week. Started the season off with 2 big wins. Did pretty well. J.I. Burton and Graham.
And Graham, yes.
Yep. And you will have Honaker and Graham this
again,
week.
yeah.
Both away games. Tim, you got some questions?
Yes.
All righty. I'll go ahead and kick to you.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for being on a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for having me.
And really enjoyed what you grow as a coach. You've grown with the girls, and you've got a good group of girls. And you know what girls you have because you've worked with them over the summer. Every summer I've seen you out working with them, take them to places, take them to camps. That's very important.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer whatever you put in something is what you're going to get out of it.
For sure.
So if you don't put nothing in, you're not going to get nothing out. And you're not like that with your girls. You put in all of it. And I've heard you talk to them while they're on the court. Teamwork. I've heard you talk. Be talking. Be chatter. Be talking.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard you holler that out. So I've got some questions.
Okay.
Well, what are your team's biggest strengths this season?
Really, our strengths are our chemistry that we have, I think. And I know I say that all the time, but chemistry is such a big thing with this team. They've played together since they were, every sport. They've played together since they were itty bitty. And they just know each other. Like Destiny, she knows where her hitters are going to be. Our hitters know where Destiny are going to be. It's just, they know each other so well and they play off of each other so well. And I think that shows when they're on the floor. Even if you don't know volleyball, you can see that.
Yeah, well, that's me. Last Tuesday was like one of my first ones. So
you can see that they just play off of each other so well and bring each other up when we
and
make
they seem to be real loose too. I
Yes.
noticed, really just kind of dancing around.
Yeah,
and
they're just so comfortable with each other, and I feel like they're comfortable with me at this point. I've been with them for a long time, and I just think that's really important with any team, any sport.
Yeah.
How do you develop a team that has a chemistry on and off the court?
So I think it starts with me.
That's right.
Everybody says, you can't be their friend, you can't be their friend. And I don't call myself their friend, but I'm very close with them. And I think they know that if something's wrong or if something's going wrong on the floor or something's wrong at school, they can come to me. And spending all this time together, we're together all the time over the summer, in the off season, we're together all day, every day at school, and then they have practice together. And I tell them all the time, you don't have to like each other off the floor, but they do, thankfully. They all like each other. But you don't have to like each other off the floor, but when you get on that floor, every girl's your best friend. And
It's
I'm
family.
lucky enough, yes, we're a family. I'm lucky enough to say they all are good friends on and off the floor.
They are. Yeah, all the girls you have are very close knit with each other.
They are.
How do you keep players motivated during tough matches?
Oh gosh, that's the hardest part with girls. Oh, girls are so hard. They get down on themselves so bad.
Is that something you did?
Yes, and I did. I was
I'm
so
sure your
hard
dad
on-
would probably
yes,
agree with
like my dad pushed me, but I was harder on myself than anybody
Yeah.
was. I'd come and tell my coach, take me out. I'm not, sit me down. I'm hurting you more than I'm helping you. But they get so down on themselves and they're so hard and they just want to do so good. But my motto for several years has been next play, next play, next play. And anytime they come to the huddle, if I have to call a timeout and reset them a little bit, I tell them next play. You know, if you mess up this play, move on to the next one. And I have to say that several times a game, but now some of them will look at me and be like, okay, next play, we know.
It's kind of a flashback to one of our first interviews. I believe it was the Vance girl at Hurley had said that's the way she takes every hit on the golf course.
Yeah.
If you make a bad shot, just move on to the next one. You can't dwell on it.
Yeah.
And I guess that really translates to a lot of different sports.
It does. Volleyball, I just told them this Saturday, we played a tournament. Volleyball is a game of mistakes. And, basketball, football, anything else, like, it's not really a game of mistakes. It's what you do to score.
That's right.
But you score off of the other team's mistakes.
Yep.
So I said, you're going to make mistakes. This whole game is a game of mistakes.
Well, we're human, aren't we?
We are.
And from what I've seen very early on, just kind of learning the sport and everything, it doesn't really seem to me like you're ever out of it.
No.
Because, you can be down 4 or 5 and
happens
boom,
fast.
real quickly, you can be right back in it.
Yep. Anytime we're down, I think one time we came back from a 12-point deficit
Wow. and
and won the set. And anytime we're down by just a couple points, I say, remember, it's a very fast game, very fast. And, when two really strong teams are playing, it's a little more back, forth, back and forth, back and forth. But for a long time, there's a long swing between points. But, most games are very fast, very fast points.
So what goals do you have for the team this year?
I have big goals for them this season, and they know it. So we've been pretty hard on them, Coach Church and I have. They have all the talent in the world to win the region. And I haven't before in the past year said we have the talent to win the region. I've said, we can make it there. We can win a game. This team can win the region. We've seen most of the teams around that's in our region this summer, and we've played with them, if not beat them, over the summer. And, I know summer ball's different. You don't have all your girls there, but they can go as far as they want to go. And, Grundy Volleyball has never won a region game.
Be great.
So that our first goal is to win a region game. And then I think once they get that, they can go as far as they want to go.
No better time to do it than
There's
this
no
year.
better time than the present.
How do you balance developing young players with winning now? I know you've got, you got a good program, good structural, middle school, JV, varsity, and that's where it starts at.
Right.
That's where it starts in middle school. I know you have good programs that's coming, and
We do.
you've got good kids that's coming. And anytime you build a varsity program, you got to have a middle school or elementary or a middle school and a JV program to funnel that varsity program. So when doing that, how do you balance developing younger players into a varsity role at a young age, like a freshman?
Right. So I was talking to Coach Church the other day, and he made a good point. He said, middle school, it's hard because you have so many kids that come out and want to play, but you can't. It's hard to play them all and develop them all when you have 30 kids. So, but a sixth grader, I know I was a different athlete in the sixth grade than I was in the ninth grade.
Right.
Yeah.
So you never know if this kid is going to develop into an all-star volleyball player, or, they're just going to fall off and not like it anymore and not want to play. So that's the struggle with middle school. Now JV, I say JV is your developmental years. You know, 8th, 9th, sometimes 10th grade years. Coach Church is developing them to get to me, and that's what we tell them. You're working to get to varsity.
Right.
And by the time they get to me, they're always ready because we have a strong program that builds up to that. And you have to keep encouraging them that, you know, even though you're on JV, say you didn't make varsity this year, you could be a completely different athlete than you were last year. So
Totally agree.
we have to keep telling them, keep working, keep pushing, keep putting in time in the off season, keep asking me what you can do to get better.
Yes.
And they all do. They're very good. They come to me, they say, what can I do to get better? What do I need to do to get ready for varsity? And we just tell you have to keep working. Plus our JV program and our varsity practice together.
That's even better.
So that is a big help with the JV program. We practice together every day, and JV plays our varsity.
That's great.
So they're playing our varsity and then going and playing JV teams. So
That's only going to make them better.
Right. They're more than prepared when they go and play a JV team.
Yeah.
That's good to know, because a lot of these other schools may not do that.
Right.
And in my opinion, you need to. You're just better, you know. And I take Grundy wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go everywhere.
Right.
Competition, and now you guys are doing that.
Yeah.
You know, it's spread, and you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
It's just not just happening. It's been doing. You guys have been doing it for a while. So, what strategies do you use when facing a taller or more powerful opponent?
Oh goodness. Well, we did Saturday. You know, Sophia, my middle, she's a powerhouse in the middle, but I always tell them you're going to face eventually someone bigger and someone stronger than you. It's inevitable. It's going to happen eventually. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when we go to these big tournaments at Patrick Henry and Virginia High and all these places, you do see kids that are bigger and stronger than you. And we've learned that, I know this may not make sense, but we swing around. We sometimes if we get blocked, which it does happen, and I tell them before the set even starts, I say, listen, Sophia, you might get blocked. Right. And if you do get blocked, you do something to get a point to make up for it. Mm-hmm. Do something to bring your confidence back up. So if we're swinging and we're just getting destroyed on the block, I say, just make a good play. It doesn't have to be a big swing. It doesn't have to be a big point. Just make a good play to get your confidence back up. And really, that's what we do with any of our players, any of our front row players. I say, if you're getting destroyed on the front row and they're blocking you and you just can't get a hit in, then do something small to make up for that and to make yourself feel better.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key. When nothing don't happen, when you mess up a play, you can't get down. You just got to make it up. Yeah. You got to make it up.
I mean, even if it's something small, I say, if you just get a little tip in, if we get a free ball, you know, anything to make yourself be like, okay, I'm back. I'm good now. I'm okay.
Got my confidence back on me and I can do it.
When one gets down like that, are they pretty good about bringing the other one up and lifting?
They are. I brag on Destiny a lot because Destiny is really.
I could see that.
She's on and off the floor. I'm telling you, that kid is just an all-star. I see her say like, no, you're all right. You're all right. Get back up. And I see them all when we meet in a huddle after every point. Whether we lose the point or we get the point, they come together. And Vicki McComas taught me that after every single point they need to come together, because in that moment when they come together, that's when they lift each other up. That's when they mesh. That's when they, discuss things that they need to do, they need to fix. And I see them all the time patting each other, and they pat each other on the head, or they're like, "Hey, lift your head up. You're fine. You're all right."
Yeah, that's great. That's great. How do you adjust your lineup for different types of teams? You've got Honaker coming up tomorrow, and I know you have all your girls are strong, but you have a lot might be stronger in this area and stronger than over here, and you have to have 6 out there.
Yeah.
So how do you adjust your lineup to play a team like Honaker? Because Honaker's pretty decent.
Yeah,
they're pretty good. Every year they're pretty good. I don't know how they keep bringing people
they
in.
Just keep filtering them in. I don't know.
And I'm glad of that.
Yeah.
But how do you do that? How do you determine your lineup, your first 6?
Yeah.
How do you determine that against a Honaker team?
Well, thankfully, I have a lot of depth on my bench. Really, any player on my team can play anywhere on the floor, and that's where I feel like I'm lucky there. Destiny is a setter. I have 2 setters. I run 2 setters. But say that we're having a night that, I need bigger swings, then I'm going to put Addison strictly hitting and playing defense. Or say that I need more blocks. I'm going to put a right side blocker in instead of leaving my setter in there. I'm going to put in a taller girl. We did that this weekend. We were facing some big teams, so I had my middle and my right side, and it wasn't my typical lineup. But, you just have to adjust.
You got to adjust and make
You have
changes
to
depending
adjust and
upon
make
the
changes.
opponents.
Right. So we watch film. Coach Church is bigger in watching film than I am, but I'm kind of
That's
a more
that football
off
mentality
it is,
there.
football mentality.
That's what that is.
I'm kind of a off the fly kind of girl, but I have got better in my years of coaching. So really we watch and we discuss and we're like, hey, do we need bigger blocks here? Do we need more defense? A lot of times we adjust after the first set, which I know, but sometimes you just have to play them and see, if you need to adjust, if I need to pull Destiny back to play defense and not block, which, she's not a blocker, but she can jump through the roof. So I typically let her block with Sophia. Right. But really I can put my girls anywhere on the floor, and thankfully they're going to be able to
Definitely
excel.
makes a coach's job a whole lot easier.
Yes, it makes my job a lot easier.
Well, it helps you.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Big
People
time.
don't understand that.
No.
So what's the toughest school that you'll compete against this year in your district or region?
In my district, I would say probably Twin Valley, strictly because Lexi has done a very good job with them. Lexi was an awesome athlete when she played, and, she's worked really hard with them, and we noticed a big difference in them last year, just after her having them, I think 1 year maybe. I think last year was her first year as head coach.
Yes.
In the region, we played Chilhowie. No, we didn't play Chilhowie this weekend. We played Rural Retreat. We saw Chilhowie play. So we've watched a couple of them, and I would say probably at this point Chilhowie. Mm-hmm. They're very tall, very versatile, and probably Rural Retreat. They have an awesome middle, and she's left-handed, and it's hard to judge where she's going to hit the ball. So I would say Chilhowie or Rural Retreat probably.
Good. How important is communication? And I already know this.
Oh, my gosh.
How important is communication on the court, and how do players practice it?
Okay, so if you've been to one of my games, you know that I preach. You have to talk. You have to talk, because if we don't know where each other are on the floor, then we can't play, and we are not going to succeed. We're not going to win. If you don't talk, we're not going to win. Even if you're the best team in the state, if you're not talking on the floor, you're not going to win, and that's just how it is. Volleyball is, Vicki McComas told me, volleyball is an annoying sport, as in annoyingly loud. So if you've ever been to a volleyball game, you hear how loud it is. It's obnoxiously loud. And we'd practice that at practice. Mm-hmm. So if they're not talking, we're telling them, hey, we're not, even during drills, we're cheering our teammates on. We're talking to each other. We're counting the passes that we get. We are just constantly talking, even during practice. Good. And they know that if they're not talking, they're in trouble.
As a parent of one of your players / fans that sits in the stands, what do you think their atmosphere is like? What do you think a parent looks at as an atmosphere being like at a volleyball game?
I don't know. As my dad, okay. I'm going to use him as an example.
You can go with your mom.
I'm going to use him as an example because, I'm the coach, I'm not the player. But I never played volleyball in school. So my parents don't know volleyball. And, after 8 years of coaching volleyball, they've learned a little bit now. So my dad will call me after every game and be like, hey, you should have done this. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you pull those girls in tighter? And I said, Dad, because if I pulled them in tighter, they would have hit us deep. Right. So I think that they see things a little bit like that. If you're not out there doing it, if you're not out there playing, you have a lot of opinions for what we should have done differently. And, even me.
That's the whole idea of our show.
You have a lot of opinions of what we should have done differently that could have made us succeed more. And even me as a coach, I'll be like, hey, why didn't you do that? And they're like, if I would have done that, this would have happened. Right. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So I think you have to give a little bit of grace as a parent because even, volleyball is a team sport, but there's only 6 spots on that floor.
That's right.
And I can only play 6 at a time. And I think you have to give your coach a little bit of grace and your players a lot of grace. You have to give them a
Right.
lot of grace because unlike basketball, football, anything like that, I don't call plays.
Right.
I don't set defenses. I don't, it's a lot different because I just put 6 girls out there and be like, go play.
That's right.
It's a lot on the players and I think that's why they get down on themselves
A lot
so
of
much.
lot of read and react.
It's a
I
lot
guess.
of read and react. And, if you watch a college volleyball game, and I highly suggest watching one, it's awesome.
Yeah.
They literally are like a wave.
Mhm.
Like the whole time they're on the floor, they're moving in unison. And it's just, I tell my girls,
would
it's
be
beautiful to watch.
That would be a neat thing to do
Yes.
if your team there take them to one.
Yes,
that would
they've
be awesome.
asked, and I said, we'll look into it because college volleyball
very
is
expensive.
on another level. It's awesome. It's so fun to watch. But give us some grace.
Yes.
Is my one thing of advice.
I see that as a coach, and your parents need support.
Yeah.
Support you and your team.
And mine do, thankfully. I have wonderful parents.
Well, that's
on
why
my
I was
team.
getting ready to ask you. How do they support you and
they're-
the team during the
They
season?
are wonderful. After every game, pretty much all my parents will come up to me and be like, "Good job, coach. Good job, coach." And as a coach, that's comforting to hear because you're like,
that.
okay, you need the support from the parents. Yes. And you need the support from the community and from everyone because coaching it's hard.
Well, you've been there.
Yeah. It's very,
know.
very hard. And you take it home with you. You don't just coach while
You
you're
don't
there.
just cut it off.
You don't cut it off when you leave the floor. You take it home with you every night and you think, oh my God, if I would have done this different, if I would have done this, if I would have put this person here.
Right.
And thankfully I do have wonderful parents and they're always willing to help, always asking me if we need anything, asking if I need this. And I really can't brag on them enough.
Well, that's the key.
Yeah.
Parents that support.
It is.
And if you've got parents that buys into the program, it just falls into place.
It does.
The kids fall right into place.
Yeah.
Because kids react off the parents.
Right.
You know that. You've been in situations, you already seen that. So
Yeah.
What do you think makes volleyball unique compared to other sports?
Oh, I don't, I was a basketball girl.
You was.
Through and through, I was a basketball girl. And I think still to this day, basketball is up here. Volleyball's a little above now that I'm, coaching it. But what was the question again?
What
Can
do
we
you
get
think
that?
makes volleyball unique compared to other sports?
Okay, unique. Yeah. I would say volleyball is unique because it's just so fast-paced and literally 1 point can change everything.
Yes.
In everything. Last year, I think we played a game. I've talked to several people that are like, I had never came to a volleyball game before, and I watched it, and I'm hooked. You watch it once, and you're like, oh, my gosh, it's so fast-paced. We played one game last year that I think we won 28-30 because you have to win by 2.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just win by 1. You have to keep going
Yes.
until you win by 2. And it's just back and forth and constant action. And, when I was in school, I didn't see it that way, I guess, because I wasn't really involved with it. And I was like, I don't want to play volleyball, I don't want to do that. And Vicki asked me to coach 8 years ago, and I had no clue.
Was that
No
something
idea.
you was ever asked by, like, say, a friend in high school to come out?
No, because at the time I was cheering for football, and
Yeah.
you couldn't really, now they do it all, but you couldn't really do both at the time when I was in school. So I cheered football, and I didn't even think about volleyball. And Vicki asked me to coach because she didn't have a JV coach, and I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I couldn't tell you how to put the girls out there. I couldn't tell you the positions. I have no clue what I'm doing. And really, she taught me everything I know.
She's such a great person.
Everything. Yeah. She is wonderful, and I miss her so much every day. But she literally taught me every single thing I know about volleyball, and the girls taught me. As I was coaching that first year, I was like, I have no clue. I don't know. Like, I can draw you up a basketball play anytime, any day. But I don't know how to do this. And after the first year, I was like, oh my God, I love this.
Yeah.
Is that you just go one time and you're like, this is awesome.
I like volleyball because it's like everybody cheers everybody on.
Yeah.
Like they do cross country.
Yes.
Everybody's for everybody. I like that. I don't like a lot of drama.
Yeah.
I hate drama, and I know you don't like drama.
No.
I hate drama, but I like a sport that everybody cheers everybody on, picks everybody up. So how do you prepare mentally for a game. I know as a coach, coach is like a player.
Yeah.
You got to get your mind
yourself in the
clear.
zone.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
get your mind clear, and you got to be in that game. And if you're distracted by just anything, like somebody dropped a Coke on the floor and you got distracted,
Yeah.
that's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It
so
is.
how do you?
Really, since I started coaching, I've tried, I know this is contradictory, like to being prepared, but throughout the day, I try not to think about it too much, because if I sit and dwell on it, I'm going to drive myself crazy.
Right.
Now I do prepare, I have first period planning at school, which is great because I can go in and I can make adjustments to lineups, or I can watch some game film or something, if I need to during my planning. And really I'll draw up, what lineup we're going with, who's doing what we need to do here, what we need to focus on, what we need to adjust to, beat that team. And really, I don't think about it too much because I'm a dweller. I sit and dwell on things a lot, and I make myself worry. And if I do, I'm going to worry too much.
Okay.
So I try not to think about it too much, but I will sit and, prepare a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, that's done. We're good. Then we'll move on to game time.
How do you handle pressure when the score is close?
Oh, that I don't handle pressure well, but I'm doing better. When it's close, I really just try to not let them see that I'm worried or that I'm nervous, because I know that they can pull it out. Most of the time, if it's very close and towards the end, I just tell them, listen, you got to dial in right here. You have to dial in, and settle in and win this thing. I like to call a timeout sometimes if I see that we're panicked, because they get a little panicked when it gets close. Girls are girls. Girls are going to get nervous more so than boys, I think.
Yes.
But sometimes we just have to call a timeout and be like, hey, it's fine. You all are okay. Just go out there and play volleyball and win this thing.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a good team. Sound like you're well mannered with them too, and I'm telling you, I've seen them play ever since they've been little.
Yeah.
Ever since they could play.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a great team this year, and I do predict you winning the district. I do predict Grundy and your team win the district, and I predict you go to regions and win regions.
They can.
And I want you to go on and win
I know.
state.
Yeah, I really think, I've had some wonderful teams over the years, and I've bragged on them all every year, and I'm like, this could be the year, but this team is just different, and Coach Church messaged me last night after we played Saturday at Virginia High, and he's like, listen, we can do this.
Yes.
We can win the region, and they can.
Yes.
And they're just so determined, and they're really focused this year, I can tell. And they want to win as much as the next person, and when they get their head right, they can beat anybody.
They can do anything during set.
Sounds like having Coach Church there is really beneficial to you in a lot of ways.
It is very beneficial. He's helped me a lot. If I get nervous or if I get stressed out, sometimes I get in the heat of the game, and if we're down a little bit, he's like, hey, you might want to call a timeout and settle them. And I'm like, oh, thanks, yeah.
Well, that helps have somebody on the bench that can kind of keep you in check too.
Yeah, and he does. He says I keep him in check, but he keeps me in check too.
Well, it's good to have him on there, and I know you've got a good group, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
As a coach, because you've come so long, and especially having Vicki McComas mold you and made you into a good volleyball coach, and it's showing.
And she did. She really was the best mentor I could ask for, and I still to this day I'll message her and be like, hey, this is happening. What do you think? What do you think I need to do? And she's wonderful.
They're great. She's a great woman, and we are missing her. We miss her. But I'm so proud you stepped up and took over the reins for Grundy Volleyball. You've done excellent. You got an excellent team, and I can't wait till regions and districts and regions. And tomorrow's a very key. Very key matchup.
It is.
And the girls, I call them girls, they're young ladies. If they ever go in there and play just like they did with Graham.
Yeah.
And play everybody like they did Graham.
Yeah.
That nobody can stick with them.
No.
Nobody can
You know,
stick with it.
Saturday we went, and we didn't even have Destiny Saturday, so we were missing, our
Right.
setter, one of our captains, and she's a leader on the
Mm-hmm.
floor. We miss her when she isn't there, and we played Hidden Valley the first game, and they were 3A state champions, and we played them within pretty close.
Okay.
And I think that kind of set the tone for them because they were nervous going in playing them. I said, I'm just going to let you all know,
That's right.
these are 3A state champions, just go out there and play. Go
Yep.
out there and do what you can. And I think one set was 25-18 and, the other set was within 10 too.
So you can't complain.
No,
I mean,
you
3A
can't.
state champions.
I said,
you're playing
that's a
with them.
win.
Yeah.
It's a win.
That's a win for us.
But that gets you better.
yeah.
You didn't see Honaker doing it. Playing a 3. And I'm not saying any negative against Honaker.
Right.
But to be better, you got to play better
You have
teams.
to play better teams. You have to.
You got to
And
push yourself.
just playing each other every day, and which that helps, But we have to expand a little bit. We have to go play teams that are better than us.
So
because if we don't play teams that are better than us, we're not going to get any better.
True. So you're saying you're playing your JV and your varsity, practicing every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the winner out of that's your JV team, because they're
Exactly.
playing against the big varsity team,
Yes.
and they're getting all the beatings, but they're learning more because they're going to get slammed and spiked
They
more
are.
on them, and the JV team's one's coming out on that.
Yeah.
But now you took the varsity team somewhere else, and they're getting their beatings and
Yeah.
by 3A state champion team. So, in my opinion, that's a win-win.
It is.
It's never a losing battle.
No.
And, playing these tougher teams, the ones that'll be back next year, that's only going to prepare them for the AA scene
Yeah.
and everything. As
And,
far as
I said next year,
going to be even tougher.
Grundy loses 5 seniors this year. That's a tough hit, losing that many. But our JV team and, some of my other girls, they are going to be prepared to step in and take over that role, and Sophia and Riley and Michaela, all of them are in Destiny. They're all big roles to fill. Those are big shoes to fill.
They are.
And they see that. So they're working harder every day now because they're like, oh, we got some big shoes to fill next year, and they can do it.
And not counting, you got other county schools coming in.
Yes.
So you've got some Twin Valley kids
I
coming.
know the girl that we have,
Addie Boyd
Mhm.
coming. She's a big girl, and I think she'd be a good asset. But now all the girls, I'm no volleyball coach, but that's something that you as a volleyball coach knows what to do. When
Right.
you get a bunch of girls like that, I mean, you could have a powerhouse
Oh, yeah.
from all the county.
Especially from all over the county.
Yes.
They're going to be,
I hope you have
Very
50
good.
kids.
oh, gosh, I hope so.
I hope
That
you
would
do.
be awesome.
That would be great. I hope you have. But that's all the question I have. I just want to thank you so much for what you've done at Grundy Volleyball. People don't see the behind the scenes stuff
No.
you do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They don't see the summers that you go and take on places
Yeah.
and the money that you spend out of your pocket
Mhm.
to take on places. People don't realize what it takes. Fundraising that you do.
Yeah.
They don't see
I know
see all the things.
car
that-
washes and
Oh,
stuff.
my gosh, the car washes. We hadn't done a car wash. I don't think we've ever done a car wash since I started coaching. And the girls suggested it, and we made a good
money.
amount of money. But gosh, it was a hard day because Coach Church and I were out there washing cars too, and we were helping.
I'll
and-
have to admit, I drove by, but I was in my work van, and it's a Ram ProMaster, and it's really, really high. I said I would stop, but I said I don't want to put these poor kids
we
through
were
that.
washing 4-wheelers that day because it was the same weekend
Yeah.
as Mountain Mayhem.
Oh God!
So
Yeah.
we were washing 4-wheelers, and the girls
Should
were
have
like,
just
"Oh
set
my
up
God."
here.
I know, we should have.
I
Yeah,
think
well,
Hurley actually did that.
I
Their
think
football team
Zach
did.
Deal did.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard days, all of the work that goes into it, but it's worth it. It's worth it
every
every
penny.
time.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's worth it.
So I guess one last thing that I've got is, of course, Destiny was unable to be with us
Right.
today, and she had a phenomenal
She
week.
did.
Not only on the volleyball court, but also with cross country,
Yeah.
a 7th place finish. Just like for you to speak on her a little bit and
Oh my gosh. I love that kid.
what an asset she is.
Anytime somebody asks about Destiny, that kid has the biggest heart of, anybody I've met. My kids are all wonderful, and Destiny is wonderful. Destiny, I tell everyone I talk to when they ask about Destiny as an athlete, I say that kid could literally play any sport and excel at it. She could play football and excel at it. I would put her up against any athlete in Virginia, boys and girls. And,
Wow.
you know, if you know Destiny, you know that if we would let her play football, she'd be out there playing.
Yeah.
Because she's just so determined to succeed at everything she does. And she's just so strong-willed, which is great as an athlete. She's strong-willed. She works hard. I think on a normal day, she goes to school, she does volleyball, she runs cross-country, and she does basketball open gym.
Yep.
And, I mean, every season she's doing multiple sports, and she's succeeding at them. And she's just a phenomenal athlete and an even better kid.
Yeah. I don't know if you particularly know about her basketball or not, but as far as colleges go, do you know of any that is maybe talking to her? This is something I was probably going to ask her.
Right. I don't know of any right now. I mean, they could be. We haven't discussed it. But
because I mean,
she
surely
could
with something, cross country, volleyball, basketball, just very
she could
talented.
do any of those in college. Any one that she wants to do, she could do it in college and succeed at it, no problem.
Yeah.
She's the type of girl, just like Coach Lester said. I've talked to her after she come off running cross country practice, and she left volleyball, or going into volleyball. And then she said she's going into open gym basketball.
Yeah.
So you've got a girl that's been up, a lady. She's no girl. She's a lady. You got a lady that's been up since 6:30 that morning.
Yep.
That probably won't get home till about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Then she's going to sit down, take a shower, eat supper, and do homework till 10 or 11, 12, and repeat.
And do it all again the next day.
And does not complain about nothing.
Never has a bad word to
The
say.
thing that I see there is that she's definitely ready for adulthood because
she is.
Having a child now, I'm sure you know,
yeah.
multitasking is.
Yes,
She's
and
always
I don't
been
know
tough.
how she does it. I don't know how she stays mentally sane.
Yeah.
But I have never heard the kid complain, ever.
Sometimes Doc Lenny will have morning practices.
Yes, on a Tuesday, I think a Tuesday and Thursday maybe. So on a Tuesday, she's at the high school by 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And she's practicing, she's going to school, she's running cross country 3 to 5 miles, and she's going to volleyball.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
But she's a great athlete. She's great in school.
Yep.
So I talked to her last year, and I said, "You're right in your way to getting out of Buchanan County.
Oh, she is.
You're right in your way to college." And I hope and pray she goes, and whatever she wants to do, I fully support her.
Oh, I do too.
Because I've been around her ever since she's been a little big girl. And I'm just hoping, pray she goes on to school and makes something big out of herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For if it's volleyball, if it's running, if basketball, whatever she wants to do. I think she's not big enough to do basketball in college, but
She is a tiny little thing,
but
but
she
gosh,
will.
she's mighty.
she's got a heart to do it.
She does.
But like I said, I don't want to hold you up, but I'm just so thankful that you're there with the girls.
Well, thank you.
Well, young
I'm
ladies.
thankful to be there.
And you do a lot with them. And like I said, people don't realize what all you do on the backside of it.
Yeah.
I've seen it because I've been on the backside of it and seen what you're doing. But a lot of people out here looks through that window. They don't understand what all you do on your off time.
No.
But very proud of Grundy Volleyball.
Thank you.
For sure.
That's all I have.
All righty. Hannah, we really appreciate you joining us today, and best of luck this week and for the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Hannah. You're a good role model for these girls.
Thank you. I try to be.